Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much for tuning in. Brighton host Arsenal today, 3 o'clock kickoff, and it's on actual TV. This is, I cannot tell you. Fans that watch us internationally, you may not understand this, but 3 o'clock games in the UK, as far as I'm aware, have never been broadcast live on television legally before. So it's big news. We've got the Arsenal team news coming for you very, very soon. We know that Saka, Mari, and David Luiz, Granit Xhaka, not Saka, Xhaka, David Luiz and Mari will be out after injuries sustained, of course, injuries and red cards sustained in the opening game of the Project Restart when Arsenal lost 3-0 to Manchester City. Current scores at the moment, Watford are drawing 1-1 with Leicester, and another really scrappy game over there as well. So we're seeing that a lot of the moment in football. Scrappy games everywhere. I wouldn't say problems everywhere. Saying problems everywhere would be a little bit harsh as an example. 1 second here. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, but it's all good. It's all okay. You can join us on Hot Mic if you want to tune in live to us over there. We are live on Hot Mic as it stands right now. A lot of people saying, come on, you gooners. What's your score predictions today as it stands right now? Rick D says, hello from Sydney, 11 p.m. Can't wait. Damn, that's late. That's what I love about international fans, you know. International fans stay up so late and do so. Like, I feel like they do so much for us as fans, you know, in terms of the international fans are what really make our clubs the money in this day and age. They really, really are. So, yeah. It's great to have you here on the stream. Rick D, who is in Sydney, says it's going to be 3-1. We've got, I'll try and pronounce his name, Jerezzo. I think it's going to be 2-1 to Brighton. And let me ask Arsenal fans this up front, right here, right now. If you don't beat Brighton today, what does that do to your season? How does that make you feel? Where is it going to leave you? That's going to be the big question. For me, I make Arsenal favourites for this game. I truly do. I make Arsenal favourites for this game. They have to be favourites. They have to be favourites for this match. They do. Display ZZZ thinks it'll be 2-0. Wow, Arsenal so bad. 2-0 Brighton. Demez HD thinks it'll be 2-0 Brighton. Not a lot of respect for Arsenal in these comments. Not a lot for respect for Arsenal at all. I'm not sure if I agree with you all. I think that I don't think we can sleep on Arsenal that much. I think sleeping on Arsenal that much is a little bit. I think it's a bit disrespectful. It really is. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in over on Hot Mic right now. We really appreciate it. I will be synchronizing my stream over there when kickoff comes. So we'll sync up when kickoff comes. If you're not a member of Hot Mic, please get that downloaded right now. It's free of charge. All the information to do that is inside my description below. You use that little promo code right there. You see it on the screen? TFT. Get it downloaded. We're up to 2,035 subscribers over there on that platform now, which is absolutely amazing. 34, subscribers. So if you guys can do it, that'd be great. We've got Jason, Jack, Khalid, Ash, lots of people over there tuning in, which is great. So thank you, and big welcome as always. Team news, literally 4 or 5 minutes away. Well, as soon as it comes out, we'll get it up. We'll get it onto the screen for you. Full live match commentary from Brighton versus Arsenal will be here. No doubts about that at all. And of course, live fan cams after the game. And that's the big one. Live fan cams after the game. So make sure you stay tuned on the Football Terrace for that. Make sure you do. But aside from that, how is everybody else feeling today? You know, football's back. Is anybody a bit under? You know, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. He said he feels a little bit underwhelmed at the return of football. I want to know how you're thinking and feeling. You can call the show as well. That is available right now. Skype lines are open. All that information is in our description below on Twitter. Get your super chats in. If you've got any questions for me, anything you want to go through, feel free to. But on the Arsenal game today, I'm not going to be disrespectful to Arsenal here. I think they're a lot better than people make them out to be. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. I don't think they're as bad as some people make them out to be when it comes to playing the lesser teams. You know, I think they'll be okay today, as an example. If they were playing away at Leicester, away at United, away at Chelsea, my mind would be in a different space for Arsenal right now. But I think they'll be okay today. I can't see I literally can't see this sort of, a lot of the predictions are saying 1-0, 2-0, 3. Someone said 3-0 Brighton. Nah, I can't even disrespect Arsenal enough. Like, I like having a bit of banter, but I can't disrespect Arsenal like that and say they're going to get beat 3-0 by Brighton. I can't see that happening in a month of Sundays, if I'm being totally honest and blunt with this situation. So, but let's see what happens. We've got Josh now. Josh is on the line. How you doing, Josh?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. How you diddling? How first of all, I know you're a Man United fan. How you feeling after the disappointing result in the end yesterday? But also ahead of this Brighton Arsenal game, what's your head and heart saying about it?
I think Brighton are going to win 2-0. I still do. I don't think Arsenal are good enough in the back, and I think Brighton will expose that. So, but you never know with Arsenal, man. They always turn up in certain spells, so it wouldn't really surprise me if they won 3-0 because they have the power in the front line to do that. So it's I don't know.
Wow.
Arsenal are a weird team.
Big news. Ozil has travelled with the squad.
The superstar, bro. Mr. Missing. Ozil is garbage, man. I can't believe Arsenal fans think he's better than Bruno, man. That's crazy. That's crazy talk.
Do you know? It depends how you phrase it. At his peak, I would say Ozil's career has been better than Bruno's is now, and at his peak, I think it's a fair argument to have if that makes sense. That Man United that Man United's Bruno isn't as good as him. But when it comes to the here and the now, Bruno is well beyond him. But that's what happens, you know. I think it's interesting. I remember towards the end of Rooney's elite level career, I remember people talking about like Ross Barkley being better than him and players like this. I remember just sort of thinking, yeah, okay, maybe now, maybe right now as he's waning, you could make an argument for things like that. And I don't ever think Ross Barkley was. But when you're talking about players in their peak, it's a very different conversation. So, I mean, you just think it'll be defensive issues today that will be the problem. The reason why I think Arsenal are going to be okay, though, today is they've had that game against City to blow the cobwebs away, where this is going to be Brighton's first game back. And I almost feel like that in itself could be the hindrance because they haven't had the opportunity to... they haven't had the opportunity to play yet. And I think that can sometimes be... a hindrance and a factor, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And if Ozil is in the team, there's going to be so much. There's going to be so much expectation on him because I heard a lot of people on fan cams, including our own, talk about Ozil the other day, and like, you know, they showed frustration towards the fact that, you know, Ozil, where was Ozil? 300 grand a week. He's not even in the team. So he was half being blamed for not the result, but he was being moaned at still simply because, well, you're Ozil, you get paid all this money, we want you in our first team, which I do understand. But yeah, it is interesting. We're minutes away from getting we're minutes and minutes and minutes away from getting the Arsenal news, so it's going to be interesting to see how this comes out. But listen, we'll chat to you again later, Josh. I'll speak to you soon, my bro. Ring in a bit later. Top man, take care, mate. Bye-bye. So Skype lines are open. Danny Welbeck has just come on. Speaking of Arsenal, Danny Welbeck has just come on now for Watford. It's mad, really. I remember 10 years ago when he was coming through at Manchester United, I had this, I kind of had this hope for Danny Welbeck that he was going to go on and be this great striker for Man United. And it's weird. It's weird how things turn out for some players, isn't it? You know, he's never just got himself to that level. And I think injuries played a big part in Danny Welbeck's career. I almost feel a bit sorry for him in many ways as well. You know, it's a shame because he was such a talented young player, but of course didn't manage to. I don't even want to say didn't even manage to make it. That's not even being respectful to him. But there we go. Team news coming in a matter of moments. It's video footage of the players arriving, all their masks on, etc. I don't really get the mask thing. I'm not saying masks shouldn't be worn, but I don't know if I get it, is what I would say to that. A lot of people here talk about Man United diving. Bro, you know, I will condemn Man United diving when I see fans of our rivals condemn their clubs for diving, then we're cool, bro. Team news is in. Ozil is on the bench. Ozil is on the bench. We're going to get the team updated for you all right about now, and then we'll get it up onto the screen. But it is Leno in goal, as we expected. Bellerin at right back. Mustafi stays in the team. We then have Holden, who has come back. Where is Holden here on my list? So Holden is now in the team today, which is an interesting one next to Mustafi. That is an interesting centre-back partnership. Kolasinac comes in for Tierney. Tierney is out of the team. He's back on the bench. Maybe that's a case of rotation, but also some people might say that's a little bit strange. You know, he's only just, got back. Maybe it's, returning from injury. Maybe it's blooding him in. Midfield, Ceballos, Gwen, Doozy. You've got Saka. Pepe starts. Lacazette and Aubameyang. I would say Aubameyang is probably good. I'm going to put Aubameyang on the left. I'm going to put Saka on the right at the moment. Nketiah is out of the team. Lacazette comes in and he starts. He's starting in what seems it have to be a central striker role for him. But where's Pepe going to play here? This is going to be an interesting formation because Pepe starts as well. So you've got Willock out of the team and Pepe coming in. Pepe, of course, is a right-sided attacker. So maybe not. Maybe it's going to be more of a... I'm going to try and take a little guess here at how this formation may be. I'm going to put Saka on that left-hand side for a moment. I'm going to put Pepe on the right-hand side, and you're going to see my update in just a few short moments. And then I'm going to kind of put Aubameyang and Lacazette central. I'm going to have to put them two central together, and then work out from there how that's going to look. Where's the creativity coming from in midfield, or who's going to play at number 10? Because there's no way Guendouzi and him are going to. We'll see what the TV cameras make it up to be. But there we go. That's been exported. I'm going to update my team now for you on here. You'll see this update in just a moment. If I refresh this, there we go. That's the starting lineup. That is official. That is the starting lineup. Ozil is on the bench. Pepe starts for Arsenal. Just updating my title here on the stream. But yeah, that's it. He's in there. Arsenal fans, what's your thoughts? What's your feelings on this team? Be really interested to get your views on this. I truly, truly would. It's an interesting team, to say the least. It's an interesting team, is what I would say. How would you formulate them? And we can change it now, right now, live on the air. I can change it. But how would you formulate that? How would you play those players together? Now, when I look at that team, I don't think it's a bad team. I'm not happy. Guendouzi doesn't really impress me too much. But who is that creative spark? Are you going to play Aubameyang in a 10 role? Are you going to play Pepe in a 10 role? I mean, could Saka... I don't know enough about Arsenal. This is where Arsenal fans need to educate me. We've got Samuel on the line now. Samuel, what do you want to say, my friend? Hi, Samuel.
Hi, Terry. Yeah, on today's lineup, I think Arteta's put the right lineup out there today. I think I'm confident with this team.
Yeah, but what's the formation going to be? Some people are saying 4-3-3, but help me here. Who's going to go into what position? Because if it's 4-3-3, how does that... I mean, that's what I'm asking for here. I'm asking who plays in what position here. We know who plays in the back four. But you've then got Guendouzi and Ceballos that are going to be in midfield. You then have Aubameyang, Saka, and Pepe. Would it be a case of maybe Saka playing in a midfield 3?
I think that's the most likely thing. I think Saka's going to be fed up with the in the midfield and Gwen, then the other two. And I think Aubameyang is going to play left, or maybe because I remember some past couple of games a couple months ago when Lacazette played in the number 10 role a couple of months ago.
So maybe it'll be that. Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued. I'm genuinely intrigued to see how this team comes out and how they and how they set up as an example. I'm always interested to see how those things operate. So maybe it will be a sort of 4-3-3 style formation. But then I would put maybe Guendouzi's going to have to be the holding player in a situation like that, with Ceballos on maybe the right and Saka on the left. Maybe. Again, I'm guesstimating here. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Okay, you say the team's right. How confident are you in Arsenal winning the game today?
I'm more confident than I was on Wednesday with the team because I think, I think Brighton have Dan Burn at left back, who's 6'7", against Nicolas Pepe, so that makes me a little confident for it. So if you can make Pepe run out the defense, because that Brighton defense is not the quickest in the league. So if we just run at them, I think we can exploit it.
Yeah, maybe. A few people are saying it could be a 4-4-2 diamond. I think that actually makes a lot more sense. Again, I'm not sure how, if Pepe has to operate a little deeper, we'll see what happens with that. But it's going to be interesting today. Arsenal have got one major advantage in this game over, in my opinion, over Brighton, and that's that they've already had a game. And I think already having a game back, it just helps them, Arsenal, blow those cobwebs out a little more than everybody else. But at the same time, Arsenal have got to bounce back here. Arsenal cannot afford, in my opinion, another... Arsenal can't, for me, afford another game where they're going to drop major points. They can't do it. And,
Well, if we win today, we go 3 points for Man United. So even if the slimmest chances of Champions League football, we just have to take it, just game by game. If the teams both slip up, we have to take advantage for the slim Champions League hopes.
Yeah, I mean, there are hopes there. And I mean, Arsenal have got, for me, a clear run of games coming up that are winnable. You got 4 games, I think, before you hit the most outrageously difficult patch. You need to get through this difficult patch, this simple patch with absolutely with absolute maximum points. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I understand, because it's a ridiculous run of fixture. Leicester, Tottenham, and Liverpool. The game against Norwich, there's no ifs, no buts. We have to take 3 points here today. If we want any chance of like a 2% chance of Champions League football, we just have to win, because there's still a chance. There's no way, like, it's still mathematically possible. So we have to take advantage of every game. Every game's a must win from now to the end of the season.
I couldn't agree with you more. Samuel, mate, thank you very much for coming on, having
Thanks,
your say.
Dave.
We'll chat to you again soon, my bro. Take care. There's the Arsenal team. I'm not too sure of the formation. Some people think it'll be 4-3-3. Some place 4-4-2 with a diamond. They're not too different from each other, because I can see there a 4-4-2 diamond, but I can also see a 4-3-3 in the same pattern. There we go. I had a comment that came through here that said, it's an interesting one. Terry won't address this. Man United lead the Premier League in awarded fouls. Pens awarded 4 of the last 5 years despite a putrid attack. What are you looking for me to address? If you're claiming there is a conspiracy or there is bias, prove it. Not that we're on top. The fact correlation doesn't equal causation. So prove to me I'll address it, but you've got to show me something. It's not my fault we get fouled a lot in the box. It's not Man United's fault we get fouled a lot in the box. It's as simple as that. Maybe it's the fact that we're not quite a tip-top attacking team. We do get the penalties. We're an almost a great attacking team. Meaning, if we had a bit more speed and a bit more guile, and we thought a little bit quicker, we wouldn't even get caught in the fouls. We'd be gone. There could be an element of that. So, I mean, such a weird thing to post, Selton K. It just, I don't know what is your point? That's my question to you. What is your point when it comes to that? That's what I would be demanding you to tell me is what's the point of what you said, because that doesn't make too much sense to me at all. It really, really doesn't. Let's delve into some more of these live comments from you all. Arsenal's team news is out. Remember, we're going to be live for this game and doing fan cams afterwards, speaking to Arsenal fans. What we might do today, we haven't done it for the first 2 games back. We're going to get some neutral fan opinions as well. We're going to get some neutral fan opinions on Arsenal's performance. We're going to start adding a bit more of that, some feedback we got yesterday. Still 0-0 between Watford and Leicester. I mean, Leicester dropping points could be amazing. And that's why I'm not scoffing too much at Man United's 1 point gain yesterday against Tottenham away, because it's a tough game. Tottenham away against a Jose side for your first game back is very, very tough. I'd love to have been in Chelsea's position. I'd love to have been in Leicester's position, where you're playing like Watford and you're playing relegation-riddled sides on your first game back, who don't have the same quality of individual player. So it's Man United getting a draw against Tottenham. In my opinion, it depends on what happens in these results. If Leicester drop points today, and if And if Chelsea drop any points against Aston Villa, which could happen, I'm not saying it will, then suddenly it's a really good weekend because we've had our hardest game, in my opinion, of the final run-in was our first game back. And we came through it relatively unscathed. No injuries. You know, we saw the Bruno and Pogba situation. By Wednesday, when we play our next match against Sheffield United at home, you know, a couple of days recovery, the Pogbas of this world will be a lot fitter. And I think you start Pogba in that game and you bring him into the match, you win us the game nice and early, and then we move on. From there. That would be my view. But if you want to call the show, any questions you want to come on and ask, do it. The Arsenal team is out. We want to hear from you. We want to know what's going on. This is from Pop, who says, I could see Brighton getting a result here. Try if Brighton do get a result, it's peak. It's peak. It's absolutely peak for Arsenal. They're going to be in so much trouble. They're going to be in so much trouble if that happens. They really, really are. You can't even get away from it. You can't even get away from it. How bad a bad of a situation that would be. It would be terrible. Terrible, 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 terrible. Abysmal. You know, I think for Arsenal, I'd actually feel sorry for Arsenal fans at that point. A big return after everything going on and nothing to almost show for it. It would be, terrible for them. It really, really would be. But listen, we're here for the whole afternoon. Really excited about the game. Terry does not address it. Address what? Come on. Listen, you want to phone the show? Come on, we'll have a conversation. But I know you're not going to call the show because you're a troll, bro. Macavia here says, Brighton play good football and with the pace of, what does that say? Connolly and who? And Pye. So, to come off the bench could cause Arsenal problems. They do play a nice brand of football. I just think Arsenal are going to have too much for Brighton. I really do. He's saying that Mike Riley is a United fan. Listen, I'm really not bothered about people that think United pay referees. It's just a weak excuse. You know, like anybody that believes in conspiracy theories, it's just a weak excuse. So, yeah, it's a dead conversation as far as I'm concerned, and no real time for it at all. But if you want to call the show and have a conversation, do it. Patrick here thinks it's going to be 2-1. Mark Peoples, one of our members, says Brighton will get a result today. He may do. He may very well do. They may very well do. It's an it's Arsenal just got to do their thing. Arsenal though, they just. I don't even want to sound disrespectful to Arsenal because I'm trying not to sort of come across as being salty, but they're just, they just got to sort themselves out. They've got, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for here, but they should be a lot better than they are. They spend enough money to be better than they are. That's kind of my view of all of this. Like they spend enough money to be a better team than they are. And people always want to talk, oh yeah, well this, oh what about that, about this problem, that problem, the other problem. But, you've only spent £30 million less. Only £30 million less than Liverpool have in the last 5 years. So the money has been spent. There's this notion that money don't get spent at the club. And I believed in that as well, by the way. Like, I believed in that as well. I used to think and feel that a lot. Arsenal don't spend money. I feel really sorry for them. Blah, 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 blah. But actually, in the cold light of day, they do spend money. They 110% do spend money. It's nothing but a fact. Like, genuinely, it is nothing but a fact. It's nothing but a fact. They do spend money. But it's like all those types of things. People don't like to admit often. People don't like to admit most of the time that they spend money. They want there to be a sort of excuse of, oh, we don't spend money. We're disrespected by the board. And yeah, could they spend more? Yeah, they probably should bloody spend more with the amount of money that Arsenal Football Club are worth. But they spend money. Arsenal's problem has been a lack of plan. They haven't had a plan like Man United. Or they started, by the way, after Wenger, when Wenger left, I seriously sat there and I remember thinking to myself, this could be dangerous, Like Arsenal could end up being dangerous here because they got good players. And they started doing like this scouting thing. They started doing the scouting thing and they started, it started to feel like, oh, you know what? They could end up doing a little something here. But they didn't. And I think that's the embarrassing bit here from an Arsenal point of view, is that not being able to get that plan of action in play to create something that moves you forward again. And you wasted years under Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger should have been removed from his position many, many years before he was. And there's nobody to blame for that other than the board, absolutely. You've hemorrhaged money. You tried a new system and haven't stuck to it. And that's what always happens in these situations. I've said it to so many people on so many occasions. It's always about having a system and having a structure that's conducive with winning. The problem is most teams don't stick to these plans. We've got Max who's going to be calling up now. Max, welcome to the show, bro.
Hey Terry, how you going?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. TD, welcome back. I always get confused by your different names because I always know you by TD. It's all right. You ain't got to say sorry. What's your thoughts ahead of? What's your thoughts of your lineup first of all, and your thoughts and feelings ahead of this game against Brighton?
I'm really happy with the lineup. I just looked just now, and it seems to be a 4-4-2. Obviously Saka on the left, Pepe on the right, and then obviously Guendouzi and Ceballos in that sort of two in front of the back four.
Sorry, one sec, mate. I'm not sure what you're doing, but there's something rustling against your microphone.
Oh, sorry. Is that better?
That is perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
Sorry. I was just saying. I was just looking, and it seems to be a 4-4-2. So Ceballos and Guendouzi is the two in front of the back four, and then obviously Saka on the left, Pepe on the right, and Aubameyang, and like I said, up front. But I'm really happy with that team lineup, and I definitely think we can get a win today.
Yeah, I think you can as well, and I mean you need it. Like you literally need the win, and I don't mean that from a salty point of view, but yeah, I think you'll be absolutely fine when it comes to this today. But it's imperative that you do get the victory. Does that make sense? I think that any more drop points at this point of the season from Arsenal, and then that's all she wrote. I don't see top four. I don't see European football next year. And
well, Terry, the thing is like all the games from the last 9 games from now until the end of the season are important cup games essentially, and we need 3 points. Obviously not excluding obviously Liverpool because they're going to have won the league by that point. But every game apart from Liverpool, we need to pick up 3 points if we have any hope or chance for top 5, top 6, something like that. And we don't need any more draws. We need to focus on our performances, and we need to
oh my God, what a goal from Ben Chilwell to win the game for Leicester. Oh my days.
Terry, watch that goal. I watched that goal and it was
oh my God. No goalie in the world. Oh wow. I mean, do you know what? I'm gutted because Leicester have now picked up them 3 points when it looked as though they were going to drop points. That is gutting from a top 4 race point of view. It's gutting. But look at this. I mean, this control. He's definitely going. Oh wow. He's definitely going for £50 million now. £60 million. Like his price tag has just skyrocketed. Chelsea fans are going to be gushing at that. What a goal! And that's the thing. Honestly, I'm telling you that Leicester's financiers are going to be sitting there, rubbing their hands together, saying, we're getting exactly what we want for this player now. Because that goal could have just helped to secure that Champions League spot. But equally, at the same time, it's cemented his valuation. What a goal! What a goal!
That was probably one of the most underrated goals from Ben Chilwell, and Ben Chilwell has that in his game to score a goal from that kind of position. He's very much like Robertson in the way that he can cross the ball, and also he can score worldies, and you just be like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
And back on the Arsenal team thing as well, you got to remember, Terry, we also have Martinelli and Eddie Nketiah on the bench as well as Reece Nelson, and Maitland-Niles, and there's some like, obviously Maitland-Niles is there as well, but I'm just saying we obviously got Martinelli, which he's been on fire this season, and he's obviously coming back, but he's been in some gold form, and obviously we got Eddie Nketiah, which he didn't exactly play well against Man City, but he's never strived down from a good fight as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting today. I mean, I expect big things from Pepe. And when I say big things, I don't expect him to be sharp, firing on all cylinders straight away. We saw yesterday Martial, Rashford, these players, even Bruno that had a good game, slightly off the pace. Oh, Watford have got a chance here. Oh, it's cleared. Or Watford just throwing the ball into the box. There's always a lot of time added on at the moment, I've noticed, in these games as well. Obviously, because
we had 11 minutes the other day, and that was 5. So
yeah, well, yeah, there was obviously the injuries in yours didn't help, but also you've got these water breaks and VAR decisions that don't help.
Can I? Is it possible? Can I run something by you as well? It's something that I've wanted to ask you for quite some time as well. I was watching the Man United Tottenham game, and I want to say this without sounding biased, but I think Tottenham were very, very unlikely. Very sort of unfortunate that they didn't end up winning that game, especially like towards the end there. And I don't mean to sound like I'm trying to diss your team off in any way. I'm just, from a outside perspective, Tottenham looked like they could have potentially won that game. But obviously De Gea. I mean, De Gea. Yeah. What was that? Seriously. What was that? Like, shocker. That was a bit of a worldie.
Come on, Watford. We've got a chance! They've equalised! Watford have equalised! Overhead kick! It's 1-1! Leicester are going to drop the points. The top 4 race is still open. Oh, Watford, have they just saved themselves from relegation? Oh, my days. Who was it? What a goal. What a goal. It gets crossed in. It deflects up in the air. Bang! Overhead kick.
That was Dawson.
Schmeichel gets his hand. It was Dawson. It was, yes. Schmeichel gets his hands to it, but he can't keep it out because the power's too much. What a goal. Leicester feel gutted. And interestingly, this is the beauty of football. Ben Chilwell's goal now will not be remembered. It will not be a goal. It won't be remembered, even by Leicester fans. It gets scrapped now. Literally, an equalising goal ends a brilliant... Like, honestly, we've seen it happen many times in football where great goals are scored, but then the result of the game can change that. I remember that one of my biggest fears in football was watching the last 20 minutes of Man United versus Man City after Rooney scored the bicycle kick. And all I remember sitting there in the stadium thinking is, we may have just seen the greatest Premier League goal of all time when you think of technique, the moment of the game, the clutch moment, the title race, the derby. You add everything together. My fear was that another goal would go in from City and the game would be a draw and it would take away from it. Does that make sense? And that's a matter.
I watched that goal I watched that goal when he did the overhead kick. I was actually surprised he actually managed to pull that off, if anything, more than the actual goal itself. So, because you got to remember that he was sort of, how do I word this? The fact that he pulled that off in the situation that he did, especially when he was.
Are you talking about Wayne Rooney?
He's a big guy. Yeah, Wayne Rooney. Yeah, Wayne Rooney's got overhead kick. That was just phenomenal. When I watched that, I was like, I was surprised he actually pulled it off more than the goal itself.
Yeah, the interesting thing with that as well, he also was having a stinker of a game, and interesting that season was actually sort of the beginning of the end of Wayne Rooney. It was just after the whole debacle of wanting to. It was in the same season where he was looking at maybe leaving Manchester United as an example. And yeah, the situation never really recovered from Wayne Rooney from that point, in my view. It was never quite, from that first sort of transfer request moment, Wayne Rooney was never quite as good. Again, I always think with Wayne, there was an element of he was very psychological as a player, and I think he had to feel comfortable in his surroundings. And those first, sort of from 2004 through to sort of 2010, 2011, I think Wayne Rooney was amazing. As soon as he started to, I think he should have left. And Man United's problem is the game's over now. I'm so happy it finished as a draw, by the way, that game, because it makes Man United's result yesterday away at Tottenham not acceptable. I would have wanted a win, but it's a good point now. It's a good point that Leicester haven't been able to go further in front. But yeah, Wayne Rooney should have. One sec. Wayne Rooney should have left. Wayne Rooney, United should have cashed in on him. But the reason we didn't is because at that point the Glazers weren't spending money, and if we'd have got in that period, we'd have got about 70-80 million for Wayne Rooney, which at the time was gigantic money. Although now it seems small for top level players. But the Glazers wouldn't have respent it, and I think Fergie knew that. I think Fergie realised, we lost Tevez, we lost Hargreaves, we lost Ronaldo, and we simply didn't replace him. Remember, we didn't sign us after we lost Hargreaves, and Scholes got old, and Pogba was allowed to leave, and Carrick got old. We didn't between the summer of 2007 and the summer of 2014. We didn't buy a proper central midfielder in that time. We didn't replace. The only time we replaced sort of Tevez stroke Ronaldo was when we signed Van Persie, and that was sort of 3 years later. So I think that's why it didn't happen. But yeah, the Wayne Rooney goal was brilliant, and it'll be remembered for history. But it was within the sort of the downturn period of him. But yeah, what were you about to say? Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, there's a lot of people that that I speak to that really sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Underappreciate what Wayne Rooney did at Man United. I think, for me, he's probably one of the most underrated Man United players that gets a lot of sort of unfair criticism, to say the least. And what he's done for Man United and what he did up until the point that he obviously when he left and everything else, I think he won. Was it 5 or 6 cups while he was there? Is that right? Is that 5 or 6? And
Rooney
trophies while he was. Yeah, Rooney didn't win.
Mate, he won 5. Mate, he won 5 Premier Leagues alone. I think he won 5 Premier Leagues. He won a Champions League. He won at least 3 League Cups. He won an FA Cup. Won the Europa League. Loads.
Yeah, he won a lot. And I think the fact of the matter is, I think there are some Man United fans inside the Man United fan base that don't rate him highly as some others. And I've seen Wayne Rooney when he was playing for England, and he was just phenomenal in his peak, and he was probably up, probably up there with certain English greats. I would put him up there. What about you? Would you put him up there?
He won. Oh, yeah, of course he is. He won 12 trophies for Man United. 5 of them were league titles. He is one of the most decorated Premier League and English football players of all time. His England record is great. Look, where Wayne Rooney is now being disrespected is in the sense of they remove so much context and they remove so much fact from the conversation. And I'll give you an example. People do it when they try and downplay Thierry Henry, because if you look at Thierry Henry up until he was 22, 23, he wasn't a prolific goal scorer. But what people forget is that he was a wide man. He wasn't a number 9. He wasn't an out-and-out striker. He played from the wing. He played from the wide positions. And this is the contextual thing. And in that day and age of the mid to late 90s, your wide players were not tasked with scoring goals. So if you were a young left-sided attacking player in between 95 and 99, if you brought in 3 or 4 goals a season as a young, that was good. That was he's got a bit of something about him. You've got to remember that wide players in the Premier League in that era, if they scored more than 10 goals in a season, that was considered brilliant because the systems were different. So this is the context that needs to be remembered here. When Wayne Rooney joined Man United, he was the secondary striker for the first couple of seasons to Ruud van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy was the main striker. Rooney was the support striker. So you're never going to get as many goals because the system dictates that the main goal source is going to come from Van Persie. Then when we went through the sort of from 2006 to 2009 era, Wayne Rooney didn't play as a central striker. There was combinations. We brought Tevez in the end, but if we look at that area, it was Tevez, Ronaldo, and Rooney that played this fluid, transferable, removable situation where he'd spend 1/3 of the game in those positions. And a lot of the goals, though, the team system was predicated around, let's get that ball to Ronaldo, he's going to finish it. Rooney, and I don't care that Rooney was a side dish. You can be a world-class player and still be the side dish of the attack because the main guy was Cristiano Ronaldo. The only only 2 seasons in Wayne Rooney's career was he played as the out-and-out main goal scorer, and he scored 30-plus goals. Now, what people do that want to discredit him is say, well, you see, Fergie, though, he bought Van Persie. He didn't buy a number 10 or a wide attacking player. He bought Van Persie. Why? Think about why. Glazonomics. Van Persie was available for 20 to 25 million pounds, and we knew he could score at the same rate that Wayne Rooney was doing when he played in central striker roles. But we knew then we could move Rooney into the wide positions or the number 10 roles, and he would be as impactful. To keep Wayne Rooney in the striker role, but go out and buy a wide attacker or a number 10 who's even just at Rooney's level in those positions, if not higher, would have cost you 50, 60, 70 million, and the Glazers at that stage weren't spending it. So people have to put the context and remember, and this is maybe the younger fans struggle because they were literal children. You know, I was talking to a Man United fan the other day, he's 26 years of age. When Rooney was going for all these troubles in Man United, the boy was like 14, 15, and he's like, I didn't really follow football. Like 14, 15-year-olds back 10, 11 years ago weren't following football. Like social media wasn't a big thing. They weren't following football news. I'm sure they weren't sitting there reading the papers, watching Sunday Supplement, listening to all the nuances that were going on. They were just watching the games of football and reading the headlines because that's how most of them admit to that. So there's no context ever applied to Wayne Rooney. You know, people don't, and this is what people do. I think it was brilliant that he was amazing for United, centrally, out wide, and in multiple positions. Other people want to look at it and say, well, see, he wasn't world-class enough. That's why Fergie just moved him around. It wasn't that, in my view. Because if we would have replaced Cristiano Ronaldo with Gareth Bale when he left, sorry, 1 second. And if Tevez would have left, and we would have signed Benzema, and I'm just throwing names out there as an example. If we would have bought Wesley Sneijder, and not been cheap in doing that, Wayne Rooney would have stayed as a central striker, and he would have scored at least an extra 60, 70 goals for Manchester United. The problem was Wayne Rooney, like a lot of our players in that sort of between 2009 and 2013, were completely disrespected by the club not continuing to invest. What the bigger teams around us were spending, what the big European teams were spending, and what and by the time Fergie left, Fergie held it all together because he's the best ever. And then when he left, it all fell apart, and then we had 3 or 4 years of seeing what would have happened if Wayne Rooney would have left when he did. And I think that's the context not applied to Wayne Rooney is so disrespectful. Go on, make your final point, mate, and then we're going to move on to talking about this Brighton game again.
I was just gonna make the point that, you know, there was times when I was watching Ray Rooney when he was playing in the cam position, and he just looked like he was a different player when he was compared to when he was playing for the striker. Now, I'm not saying that he was worse than when he was playing striker or left wing or what, you know, or other positions, but the times when I've watched him when he was playing cam, I just thought that, you know, that was probably one of his better positions before he obviously switched to striker, and then I just saw him score absolute weldies from different positions, and I was just like, you know, and obviously I changed my mind on the guy, but and there was times obviously when I was watching him, you know, when he was playing on the wing, and or I was like, he didn't look really that like that. It was like his natural position, you know what I mean? So,
but it wasn't. But that's the thing. It wasn't his natural position, but he did a job there. Why did he do a job? Because the club didn't invest the money that was needed at that point. And it was only when Ed Woodward started landing all these new big commercial deals, and it was only when the Premier League's TV money in sort of 2012 onwards skyrocketed from like tens of millions a year to hundreds of millions a year for these football clubs, did the Glazers start to spend. And if the TV money of the Premier League was to dwindle again to its post, to the era before this, sort of between sort of the same levels between 2005 and 2010, Man United would go back to not spending. And that's what United had to contend with. And a lot of people speak now about, you know, the same people I see that attack Rooney are the same ones that say, oh, Paul Pogba's been disrespected by Man United. Well, so was the latter years of Wayne Rooney's career. You know, and as Wayne Rooney started to fade as a player, which happened, he didn't have anything around him to elevate him and keep him up. You know, the one thing I'd say about the Scholes and the Ryan Giggs of this world, of course, in the latter start stage of their career, they weren't as potent and as good as their early stages, but they had top quality around them.
Both of them, by the way.
What?
I rated both of them, by the way.
No, and it's fine to rate both of them, but the point I'm making is they weren't as good in the last 5 years of their career as they were in their peak. The point I'm making is they had top quality players around them to help keep him at the level. Look how much better yesterday Scott McTominay looked when Pogba and Bruno were with him, as opposed to when he was with Fred. And it isn't because Fred's trash. It's because there was just better quality around him. That means they take the focus point. They take the focus point, and then what that does is it means McTominay's got an extra second and a half, 2 seconds on the ball, meaning he can concentrate more and he pulls off his passes. But listen, TD, thank you very much for coming on, bro, and we'll chat to you again soon. Take care, mate. Thank you. Listen, Arsenal fans, we're 25 minutes away from kickoff against Brighton. What's going through your heads? How are you thinking and feeling about this game? You can call the show now. Last 25 minutes is dedicated to talking about this game. Arsenal are clear favourites, in my opinion. We've got Ram that's called in the show. Ram, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Brighton versus Arsenal. What's going to happen?
I honestly believe that Arsenal might win, I think 3-0, I think. I think Pepe might score a goal and Aubameyang might get a brace today.
1 second. Someone's going to comment here. Terry, you may want to look into Claude's channel and the new merchandise. There is a big beef there. Someone else paid for this, as so he paid, they did him over. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm reading it out loud. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, sorry, say what you said again, mate. Sorry, I apologise.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a 3-0 win to Arsenal. I think Pepe might score a goal and Aubameyang might score a couple as well.
Yeah, I think Arsenal have got this game. They've got the better players. I know Brighton play decent football, but I think the biggest factor in Arsenal's favour is the fact that they've played a game already, and that will stand them in good. That will stand them in good stead, in my view. I think that they'll have blown the cobwebs out. The interesting thing for me is, I know Tierney's not played a lot of football, but Tierney missing again. It's a little damning. I was so excited to see Kieran Tierney in the Premier League. But
of course.
But he's not. I want to see him play 2 games on the bounce, and he isn't. Maybe it is about being sensible with him. The issue that they may have at the back is, Bellerin and Mustafi next to each other defensively is a disaster waiting to happen, as an example. Guendouzi in the middle. I know Arsenal are not playing, and we're not watching a game with the quality of the Kevin De Bruyne of this world. But he's such an average midfielder, Guendouzi. And
people talk him up so much, and I don't see what he has. He just runs around. Like, honestly, I think his technical ability is the same as Jordan Henderson, if not worse.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the fact that he's French helps him. I think we've got this weird thing in the UK where if it's an Italian or a French or a Spanish player and they've got an exotic name, we seem to think that they're better than they really are. Man United fans did it with Ander Herrera. The Herreras, the Guendouzis, the Jordan Hendersons and McTominays, they're about as good as one another. I would actually say that Scott McTominay is slightly better than Guendouzi as an example. But Guendouzi being tasked with trying to run a midfield, can't do it. Scott McTominay can't run a midfield by himself. Guendouzi would be good in a solid midfield 3. In a solid midfield 3, Guendouzi will go out there and do for you. But he's never going to be a Cesc Fabregas. He's never even going to be as good for Arsenal as Song was.
Yeah.
So Arsenal have got to look beyond him. If he can cash in on Guendouzi now, go and do it. And he might have a really good game where he puts a few good tackles in. He breaks up a good bit of play. That's not enough. It's just not enough at this level.
The way they hype him up, they seem as if they say, "Oh, he might be similar to what Patrick Vieira is." And I'm like, I don't see it. I honestly don't see it. How I don't see how he's so much like Patrick Vieira. I think he's a bit aggressive. I give him that, but not in the same level as Patrick Vieira. His tackling is compared to Vieira is woeful, and that's not saying that he's a bad tackler. I think Vieira was one of the best tacklers in the Premier League for a centre midfielder instead of a defender, and he doesn't have that aura about him that Vieira had. Vieira was a guy that, Keane even said it himself. He had this figure about him of him being a captain and a guy that he would happily have a fight with you, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, of course. No, I do get that. And comparing, you don't compare people to Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira is a Premier League legend, one of the best midfielders of the last 30. If you were going to do a top 30 midfielders of the last 25 years of football or in the Premier League era, Patrick Vieira, for me, is in that top 5 conversation. He is, and some people might not put him in it, some people won't, but he's in that conversation. You know, we always do this the Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes situation. Vieira's in that mix. You know, along with Roy Keane, as an example, these players here. You know, the peak. You know, the Cesc Fabregases of this world, I think, should go into those mixes. You know, of course, Paul Pogba. These central midfielders, all in this concept. Vieira's amazing. So when you start comparing like Guendouzi's to Patrick Vieira's, I mean, other than the fact that they both have a French passport, that's it. That is literally where the connection between those two players stops for me. It really, really is. But I mean, a lot of viewers here thinking that Arsenal are going to get turned over today. Do you think that's just rival fans hoping and praying that happens, or do you think there's any element of do you think that could happen?
Brighton aren't very good. I think Neil Maupay, someone that is a bit of a troublesome player against Arsenal, but honestly, they are kind of average. I think it's going to be a busy day for Matty Ryan. I think Matty Ryan will pull off a couple of good saves, but I think it's just too much quality. It's just too much quality from Arsenal. They got the likes of Pepe, Aubameyang, Lacazette. Even though they're having really crap seasons this year, these are still players that have tremendous amounts of ability.
Yeah,
I just don't see it. I want to talk about last night's game, United versus Tottenham Hotspur.
Go on, mate. I'll give you a minute or so to speak about that, and then we'll move on.
I thought Mourinho got his substitutions completely wrong. I think I didn't understand why he took us Steven Bergwijn. I think he was their most potent player when he was on the field. I think Son had a good game, but in terms of potency and being a nuisance for the United back line, I think Steven Bergwijn was that guy. I was interested to see what he would do against Wan-Bissaka, because I don't know if you would agree with this, but I feel that Wan-Bissaka is a great defender, but I feel like if he comes up against a guy with like tremendous amounts of skill, so like who likes to do a little bit of flip flaps, some rainbow flicks and everything, he struggles. So like if he comes up against St. Maximin or Sadio Mane, he will struggle a little bit, which is not a bad thing, because I don't think any defender could ever handle players that have those amounts of skills that they have.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like an obvious thing to say, because the top level dribblers dribble past most. You know, the best fullback most people would say in Premier League history was Ashley Cole from a defensive point of view.
Yeah,
and I saw Cristiano Ronaldo and a number of other wingers at time put him on his bum. So it happens to everybody. There is this weird obsession with the social media generation of, we need to find clips of Wan-Bissaka or Trent or Maguire or Van Dijk being taken on. And if you get dribbled past, or if somebody skills you up, twines you up, as we would say in my generation, there you go, bad defender. It isn't the case. It happens on a day-to-day basis. The only reason people notice when it happens to Wan-Bissaka is because they're desperate for Wan-Bissaka to never be regarded as the best or one of the best. And mate, and I'm not saying you, I'm talking in general. So what happens is the narrative is out there to look for the mistakes. The same as people will always say, when does Paul Pogba ever influence games? Last night is a great example. But the problem is we're not cataloguing these things. We're not cataloguing the positives. We only ever catalogue the negative performances or the bad displays. And then we push that out there as being, this is why we don't like this player, because he does this. And for me, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you know, it took a bit of time yesterday's game to find his feet. He got better as the game went on. Defensively, didn't put a foot wrong. Going forward, nobody's claiming that he's brilliant. But we are not going to need attacking fullbacks with the system that we're creating as a team. Our main attacking threat will come from our wide players and our central midfielders. And like I've said before, I'm not saying Liverpool will change. But if Liverpool have a new manager that comes in and they buy two midfielders that come in to be creative, your fullbacks will get forward less, and then it'll be more about their defending as it will to going forward. And Liverpool have two of the best attacking fullbacks in the world, and that's great. But I'm not going to have a go at Wan-Bissaka because he's not good at something another defender is good at. Because if you go through everybody's attributes, you could do it to anybody, and you can always find weaknesses. And we know Van Dijk's the best centre back in the world. His valuation is double that of Harry Maguire. So the fact that he doesn't make as many mistakes as Maguire, or he's better than Maguire, it's not banter. It's the most stupid thing I've ever heard. Oh, Ziamon's better. I know he's better. That's why if you sold him now, you'd get 150 million pounds for him, and we'd get about 70 million pounds for ours. Your player is twice as good. That's why he's twice as valuable. But how's Wan-Bissaka? That's what you get for 50 million pound. Trent was free. Yeah, but Trent's valuation is 130 million pounds in the market versus 50 million. So I'm fine for Trent to be considered better, but equally Trent, who's worth almost 3 times as much money as AWB, should be scrutinised more, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
This is the weird bit. AWB is a 50 million pound player, but he gets scrutinised more for any mistake he makes than a player who's worth 3 times as much as him. Because we've got this stupidity within football where we focus on a price you were purchased for as opposed to your value. I don't look at Robertson, your left back, and see an 8 million pound player. I see a 100 million pound player. That's how, whatever you sell him for should be the standard that you hold him to. But people don't do that. So on AWB, will he struggle against tricky, really skillful, world-class wingers? Maybe. But then
Which isn't a bad thing.
But all fullbacks do. So for me, it's not.
Yeah.
So it isn't a conversation worth having. It's like saying that shot from Ben Chilwell that would trouble Alisson. You know, that shot from Ben Chilwell that he just scored that would have gone in past Alisson. Does that make Alisson a bad goalkeeper? No. So if one of the best dribblers in the world dribbles past your fullback isn't crap. Where you worry is when the average wide players who lack pace that play in the bottom sides are twining them up. That's where you got a problem. And I think we have to move away from this nitpicking of, I want to make sure I'm desperate for my player to be seen as the best player. Get over it. Drop the narcissism.
I feel that AWB has the utensils to be like a Cafu kind of player. And like the way, I remember you always talk about this interview where he lets the player runs off him. These skillful players don't care if you give them space. They want to get past you. Like they want the ball in front of you instead of them going wide to get past you. And I feel like he might need to be a little bit more aggressive in his defensive. But that's my opinion of AWB. I think he'll be a really, really good defender. I think he might be.
Mate, and I get that. And like, someone here says, Terry, you're wrong comparing AWB and Trent. I'm not. I don't compare him. You fool. Sorry to be snappy. I don't compare them. I've already said. I've always said Trent's the best fullback in the world. I don't compare him. Everybody knows on this channel and platform that I say that. You know, and Trent would get into most teams in the world. Yes, he would, and that's great. But he's a phenom. He's a phenom in the sense of most fullbacks aren't that good until they reach their mid-20s, and that's why I'm relaxed about AWB. What we can't do in life is judge all attacking players by the early standards that Mbappe has set, because Mbappe is the exception to the rule. Trent is the exception to the rule. You know, when you get a young player who comes in and they're delivering at a high world-class level at 17, 18, 19, 20, that isn't and shouldn't be the barometer for all players within that age group, because those guys are outside of the norm. Imagine now we judge every striker on Haaland's level. It basically means every striker is a disappointment. You know, it's ridiculous. It truly is ridiculous. Imagine this. Imagine you judge your child's development by comparing them to Beethoven, who was writing symphonies at 2 or 3 years old. All you're going to do is think your kid's stupid. Your kid isn't stupid. Yeah. They're normal. And people have got to get out of this. There's no critical thinking. There's no logical thinking amongst football fans. And I get the banter and the rivalry, but it's when you start seeing the pros doing it. Oh, how's he worth 50 million? Well, he is, because the better players are worth double, 3 times that amount. So you're absolutely right. He's not as good, but that's why his valuation is lower. But people then have zero understanding of how the financial market works. You know, Ben Chilwell. How much better is Ben Chilwell than Aaron Wan-Bissaka? I wouldn't say a great deal better. His valuation in the market is 60, 70 million. So it's standard now to pay that much money for a player. You know, it's an absolute madness. And it isn't even about people not understanding it. It's about people ignoring it that makes me angry all the time. You know, and everyone knows what I think about Trent. I think Trent's amazing. The AWB versus Trent situation is this. Trent is he's a good defender, and he's a world-class attacker from that position. AWB, I think he's a very class or world-class defender, and I think he's an average at the moment attacker. You know, but in another 2 or 3 years' time, he can work on those other areas of going forward. You know, he can work on all of that.
And so can Trent.
And so can Trent. And Trent could become a world-class defender, a world-class full going forward, maintain this level for the next 10 years and go down as the greatest fullback in British history. He could do that. And if he does,
or could be a midfielder.
yeah, exactly.
play
Yeah,
Wan
good.
Bissaka.
But the point is, if Trent goes on to do that, it doesn't make AWB bad. It's
Yeah.
so it's the most nonsense thing in the world, right? I love gangster movies, old-fashioned Italian gangster movies. I love them. My favorite is The Godfather. That doesn't make Scarface, Goodfellas, Casino bad. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. But listen, bro, I appreciate you coming on. But we're going to build up to the game now, mate. I'll chat to you soon, Ram. All the best, mate. Take care. I get really frustrated by that, and it isn't what Ram said. It's one of the, Terry, you say AW is world class. Yeah, I think he is. I think he's performing defensively at a world class level. If you want to throw the attacking elements into it and say, well, we've got to account all of it, then maybe he's below that. But it's about how you want to judge. And like I've said, we have to apply that to everybody. So we have to. So if we're going to apply the world class standard means as a fullback, you have to be amazing going forward and going backwards. Cool, but we apply that to everybody. You then need to apply that to midfielders. So you have to look at like a box to box. That means you have to be good at going forward and going backwards. And that logic would then damage people. So it's fine, but we need to discuss the parameters. But everyone knows what I think of Trent, so I don't really get why people are pushing and pulling on this thread. It's the weirdest thing in the world. But people's objective is to, and you know, it happens. People's objective is just to try and make a rival's player look worse than they are. And people say AWB's position is bad. No, AWB explains this. He positions himself where he does to let people get the run on him so he can make the tackle. I think it's tremendous. He is basically a Venus flytrap. He lets you think you're cool and then bang, out of nowhere, done. You know, it is what it is. Listen, if you're tuning in, do me a favor, hit that like and share button. We're just about to sync up now, actually. So I'm going to mute my microphone. We're going to sync up with Hot Mic. Because if anyone's watching on Hot Mic, that would be amazing for this game. Just bear with us a couple of seconds.
So you can love your whites for longer.
With the BT Sport app, you're the boss. On tap shows, highlights, films, and live sport. Check this enhanced player. Woo! Choose your game. Jump to the best bits. Watch the way you want. Catch different games at the same time. And check this 360 thing. Best seats in the house. This app pushes your device to the max. And even... There we go.
There we go, people. So that'll all be synced up now. I'm just going to go in that myself and hit the synchronization button. So you guys will be able to sync. You guys will be able to sync yourselves up and everything else over there with your television and stuff like that. So that's all done now over on Hot Mic. Please get that app downloaded. It's really important to us that you get that done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Someone says, he will never say it. Skelton, bro, you're getting blocked, bro. You've just been chatting shit all morning. Done with you. Done with y'all nonsense. Shout out to Terry and everyone in the chat. Big up my Donnies. Thank you, Raging Demon. I appreciate that. Thank you. Arteta is a fool for not starting Martinelli. Arteta is a Spanish Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Look, let's see what happens in the game. Let us see what happens in the game. Let's see how the game pans out before we all start jumping down. We will start jumping down Arteta's throat. Let's see how this goes. I think that's what needs to be done. Before anything else, let's just see. You know, let's keep our powder dry is the expression that I would use. Keep our powder dry. What's the hashtag for today's game? Anyone know what the hashtag for today's game is? I never quite know what all these hashtags are. I don't know how you abbreviate Brighton. This will tell me. Go on, Twitter always has it. Okay, there it is. It's BHA. I would never thought it would be BHA. BHA. And then ARS. Is that what it is? Really? Okay. Yeah, well, that's what they've used. So let's go. Let's go. Arsenal's team are getting lined up, ready to come out now onto the field of play. They'll be out first. It's going to be an interesting one here. Rick says I'd start Martinelli over Laka. Yeah, it's interesting. Martinelli's not started twice now. But, you know, these sometimes we've just got to look at it. These managers, these sports scientists, they know what they're talking about. You know, we don't want to burn any of these players out too early on in their careers. But it's a big game now for Arsenal. It's a big game for Arsenal. And I don't think anyone can be denying that. It's huge. They need this victory. They need this win. You know, Leicester have dropped points. Man United, you know, on paper dropped points yesterday. It's an opportunity for Arsenal to, you know, to catch up. And that's the most important bit. They can catch up here. You know, they can put themselves into a good position. I'm just looking here at the league table as it stands. Arsenal win today. They go 43 points. They'll only jump up to 8th. They'll go above Tottenham, which is also important for them. But it will put them within 5 points of a top 4 position. And look, Leicester are some way away. They're sitting there on 54 points. You know, and that's not great from their point of view. But they've got 8 games to go, and there's a lot of points to play for. 24 points, you know, for them to play for in that regard. And you know, they're gonna have Chelsea, they're gonna have Man United breathing down their necks, and Leicester can't afford to drop. Leicester's next couple of games, if Leicester don't walk away with at least 4 to 6 points in their next couple of games, they will be dragged in, because Man United for me are going to win their next 2, which is going to put them on to sort of 50 odd, well then 46, so that'll put them on like 52 points. You know, Chelsea I think could win, you know, a good couple of their opening games, and they'll close that gap. And Leicester don't want to do it. I mean, if Leicester fall out now, they'll feel gutted. They really will. But this is big for Arsenal, because they're 8 points away from a top 4 position as it stands. If they drop points today, I just can't see them making it up. Not with Tottenham and Wolverhampton, everybody else in front of them in that way. Remember, West Ham kickoff versus Wolves at 5:30, and then it's Bournemouth Crystal Palace tonight at 7:45. And then tomorrow we'll be doing live phone-in after the Chelsea game, and then covering and doing a full watch-along for Everton versus Liverpool. So we've got a really busy couple of days here on the Football Terrace. Really looking forward to all getting involved. So BT have said that it's going to be a 4-3-3 with Saka playing in that number 10 role. So they've slightly changed that. So let's update. We'll update ours to see what to try and match it in the same way. But they've basically lined the teams up in a, I wouldn't say a weird formation, but it's a little more like we're going to put up on the screen in just a moment. But it does appear quite narrow with what BT Sport have said and done. So we're going to update that now so everybody can see it, and we'll get that updated onto the live stream. Let's have a little clicky click on this. That's kind of how BT Sport have done it. Moments of silence now taking place to reflect on the fallen lives of COVID-19, and of course they'll be taking the knee in honor of the Black Lives Matter movement. Please do me a big favor and hit that like button. Please hit the share button as well. Really important to also subscribe to Hot Mic. Get Hot Mic downloaded right now. Information for that is inside our description below. It'd be great if you could do that for us. You know, we'll want to push ourselves up on there. David says, please, Brighton, make my day. Dwayne says, Rashford has so much more potential than Welbeck has. Dwayne, that's one of the most, I mean this respectfully, yeah, of course. And that's a pretty obvious comment as well, but maybe it isn't obvious to everybody. I know a lot of people don't think and feel like that, which I've always found it strange that people don't see it in that way. But let's see what happens here. I've got a busy afternoon after this as well, you know. I've got to do all this stuff today, and then I've got to finish my garden off, finish mowing my lawn. I've got to do a bit of weeding, you know. Old man. Old man things. Old man things, you know. But here we go. Game is about to kick off here. I'm really quite excited now about this. This is one of those games where, you know, big games have that kind of pressure to them because there is this who's going to win. It's nerve-wracking. these matches always feel a little different to that. These matches always kind of feel to me like Arsenal should win, so it kind of applies more pressure. And if we go back 10, 12, 15 years ago, Arsenal's and Man United's are, 3 o'clock games against teams of this level, you never really saw defeats. Like, genuinely, there was very rarely defeats when these games took place. But suddenly, that's changed in recent years. And these sort of these mistakes and these potential banana skins are literally so frequent. It's a madness. But here we go. Arsenal players taking the knee, showing support to Black Lives Matter. Absolutely right. Absolutely right that we fight every single day to create as much equality in the world as possible. And if taking the knee can help do that, then everybody should be doing it. Do you know what I find interesting about the taking the knee thing? People look at it as a sign of weakness. It's like, you're not... I even saw that Dominic... Was it Dominic Cummings the other day talking about, it's like something out of Game of Thrones. It's like, no, you're not bowing to somebody for superiority. It's an action of protest, But here we go. Game's kicked off. Brighton moving the ball forward nicely here. Well, they give it away. Arsenal looking to move that ball quick. Guendouzi's pushing forward with the ball. That's a lovely pass. Aubameyang nearly scores an overhead kick straight away. Almost straight away. Oh, yeah, Dominic Raab, not Dominic Cummings. Sorry, I got the wrong Dominic. Brighton now counter-attacking down the right-hand side. Holden gets pulled out to try and cover this. Brighton have a nice early shot here, but it's broken down again. So I'm changing the formation. We can see the formation already is not quite as they said. I'm gonna move the formation around now to make it make a bit more sense. There we go. Now that is how the formation is. That's more like this. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. That makes more sense to me anyway. Do me a big favor if you haven't done so yet. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. We're a couple of minutes in here. And Brighton have their first corner of the game. And this would be an interesting one. Arsenal from set pieces. They've got a very tall team, Brighton. A very tall team indeed. This ball's about to be whipped into the box. Remember, you can call the show at any time. Skype lines are open. Please subscribe. Ball's crossed in. It's well defended by Arsenal. There's a head injury. There's a player down here. The game's been stopped. It's Kolasinac. Kolasinac is a you see some footballers, I do look at them, and I mean this with respect. I look at them and think to myself, how do you even operate? Size of you on this pitch. There we go. Brighton here in possession. Ball given back to him. Oof. Ball gets cut out there by Mustafi. Goes to Bellerin. Bounces off his leg and then goes out for a Brighton throw here. Sort of 20 yards into their own half. Brighton have stuck faces of their fans all over a certain amount of seats. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not noticing there being no fans because I don't have the sound on because, of course, I do these watch-alongs. I can't have the sound on. But it is interesting. Give us a bit more commentary on the match. Okay, Jack. A ball, long ball over the top. Leno comes out there for the long ball and he heads it away. Gets away with it in the end, but Arsenal lose possession again here. It is retained and won back by Saka, who passes back to Holden, who just, gets away with twice on the bounce now. Arsenal made 2 dodgy clearances from the back, but they've got away with it. They've got away with it by hook or by crook. Here goes Pepe on the right-hand side. He's doubled up upon here. Ceballos in the middle with the ball. Oh, Brighton give it away here. Here's Aubameyang. He's got a great opportunity. He shoots. Oh, it's over the bar. That was really, really scrappy there from Brighton. They give the ball away in a dangerous area. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang picked up. Was it Brighton's throw? A couple of passes. Oh, square pass straight to Aubameyang. He had an open goal for a while and he shoots. And he absolutely shanks it in the end there, Aubameyang. Really not good. He should be doing so much better from that position than he did. He should be doing so much better there. Brighton get away with that mistake. Get away with that mistake. And this is the thing with mistakes in football. It happens on a regular basis. It's just how many get punished. You know, how many of these mistakes actually get punished in the grand scheme of things. Arsenal here with Pepe by his halfway line. Goes back to Mustafi. How about Laka? Well, Lacazette hasn't done anything yet. But Lacazette is starting centrally, which is the only place you can really play him. I think that's something that Arteta's got to get fixed in the summer in terms of signings, because you've just got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang who's playing off this left, and he's okay there, but he's a central striker. You know, he's a goal poacher, he's a finisher. You don't really want him out on this left-hand side if you can help it. Arsenal pressing quite high here, to be fair. Really putting pressure at the back. Brighton trying to play out from the back, which of course is Graham Potter's style. But when you're up against superior teams, you will come unstuck on so many occasions. There are some times where I just feel like you just need to, you know, if in doubt, get it out instead of messing around at the back. Because they mess around at the back and put themselves under pressure, and they go long anyway, and then the ball comes straight back at them. Or if they tried to move the ball out from the back a little sooner, it might help. Is Holding here. Oh, Rob Holding with a really poor pass. It's the third time Arsenal have made really sloppy passes out from the back, but they get away with it because they end up falling to a different Arsenal player. Do I prefer Lacazette or Nketiah? I think Lacazette is the better player, but Nketiah's got a lot of potential, hasn't he, to go on to be a top star. Here goes Lacazette. Saka's on the ball here. Saka's in a bit of space. Saka's going to shoot. Oh, Saka hits a crossbar. Great attempt by Saka. Really good shot on his right peg as well. It was good football. Lacazette's fouled in the middle. He finds Saka though. Saka then finds in acres of space, a little step over, curls it from the right-hand side, from the left-hand side of the box with his right foot, and it looks like it's going into the top corner, but it strikes the crossbar. So close there. Long ball played up the other end. Mustafi, really poor clearance. And again, Arsenal just get away with another poor clearance. Foul committed in the middle there by Brighton. But Arsenal almost taking the lead. Really unlucky. Really unlucky indeed there. Arsenal dispossessed here. Brighton looking to try and counter. That's a foul, ref, surely. Not given. Thought Aubameyang committed a foul there. It isn't given. Ball's now with Guendouzi. Got to try and switch this play quickly. But see, if they're taking 3 or 4 passes to switch the play, you're not going to spread Brighton. Ceballos here tries to dink the ball over the top on the right-hand side to Pepe. Pepe gets onto the end of it. Poor defending from Brighton. Lovely stuff here by Nicolas Pepe. Puts the ball inside. It's Ceballos. Ceballos pass 1, pass 2, and then tackled Brighton trying to break out here and trying to mount their own counter-attack. But, oh, it's lovely skill in the middle there. But you've got to find a pass before you lose it. He does. It's a really exhilarating start to this game. But another pass dispossessed. Arsenal coming forward. Aubameyang into Lacazette. Lacazette to score. And it's blocked. He picks the ball up. Oh, Bellerin, a really poor pass, slows the attack down. But Arsenal are starting to knock on the door here. They're knocking on the door. Aubameyang's chance. Saka hitting the crossbar. Lacazette there. For me, should have scored. Should have pulled that trigger sooner. But in the opening 9 minutes, Arsenal were all over Brighton. They've got to make this count, though, the Gunners. They can't keep missing these kind of chances at any level. But as I said in the build-up to this game, Arsenal just look a little sharper. They've had the game, they've got the game time under their belts already. One match down. Helps you. Here's Lacazette again, he's in. Offside decision given in the build-up play. So the game will be pulled back. Still 0-0 as it stands, but Arsenal are in the ascendancy. Arsenal are looking excellent here today. Just in this quick break, do us a big favor. Please download Hot Mic. You can synchronize us with your live stream or with your television right now. So there's no delay. We're completely and utterly in time and in sync with the television that you're watching on. It's free of charge, and use promo code TFT to get it downloaded. Come follow us, the Football Terrace, over there. It'd be amazing for us if you could do that. As well as that, please all hit the like button right now as well. Let's push this stream to as many people as we can. Please share this on your social media platforms as well with friends and with family. That'd be absolutely amazing for us. It really, really would. Nicky here thinks that Brighton will win 2-0. I can't see that right now. Brighton are trying to push forward here. They've got a bit of room on the left-hand side. They've got an overlap going on. Can they create an opportunity? It's crossed in. It's going to be a corner here to Brighton. Corner here to Brighton. Inside the 12th minute. Moy's a good player. I do like Moy. You had Byrne that was running down the left-hand side who got that ball into the box. This is where I think Brighton could pose a threat today. They're a very tall team in comparison to the Arsenal backline. Arsenal with a bit of man-to-man marking and a bit of zonal marking to boot. Ball's crossed in. That's well cleared. Very, very easy that for Arsenal. Brighton have the ball out wide, looking to whip a ball in. They do. Again, easily cleared there by Arsenal. Completely booted out by Kolasinac. Little bit of good possession here from Brighton. Foul given. It's going to be a free kick from a dangerous area on the right-hand side. Saka's committed the foul. Another opportunity for Graham Potter's men to whip this ball in. Moyes standing over the ball. Along with Pascal Groth. Ball's about to be whipped into the box here. Looks like Moy might be hitting this. He dummies it. It's crossed in. It's a decent cross. Guendouzi had to get his head on the ball there because there was a player spare at the back, number 11, which is it Trossard, who looked like he was about to pounce on that. So he was going to get the opportunity there, but it's a corner here. A little bit of sustained pressure here from Brighton. Brighton have got these 4 men in a line in the box, a little bit like England during the World Cup. We love that World Cup in 2018 when the world seemed a simpler place. Short corner taken here. It's well worked by Brighton. Can they get the crossing? They do. It's well defended again by Arsenal. Arsenal now looking to pounce on the counter-attack. Ceballos in possession here. He cuts inside and slows the play down. Ceballos, that's so poor. That's so weak-minded, Ceballos. So weak-minded. There was a ball on there to Pepe, but you've got to have the confidence to try and play it, and he doesn't. Maybe that's why Real Madrid don't want him. In those moments where you need to play the ball into the half space, he doesn't do it. Plays the ball down the wide right here, though. Nicholas Pepe keeps it in, but that's well defended in the end by Brighton. That's going to be an Arsenal corner here. 14 minutes on the clock. Still 0-0. Do us a favour, hit the like button. Please hit the share button as well. Two of the best ways that you can support the Football Terrace. It truly, truly is. A few people saying they're watching Leipzig versus Dortmund. That's cool. You do you, man. It's a dead game. The whole league's dead now. It is 1-0 in that game, though, by the way, with the Haaland goal. But we ain't going to talk about that. Ball's crossed in by Arsenal. Very well cleared there by Brighton. Aubameyang's picking up the loose ends here. Probably going to let go out for a throw. He does. That took nearly a minute to take that corner. That's a madness. Aubameyang here to Saka. Saka's dispossessed. Another throw in here to Arsenal. Or Brighton win the ball back here. They're starting to trying to build up some play here from the back. Interesting game 15 minutes in. If you're only just tuning in, if you've not been able to watch the game, Arsenal have certainly been the stronger team. It's a nice bit of play there. Well defended by Holden. Kept in here by Kolasinac. Who goes back to Holden. Yeah, Arsenal had 3 real gilt-edged chances to score. Aubameyang should have done better, but he skied it. Saka with a wonderful right-footed attempt that hits the crossbar. And then Lacazette was fed in nicely by Aubameyang. Should have taken the lead for Arsenal, but he just didn't have enough. Got blocked by the Brighton defender. But Arsenal in the opening, it was the opening 10 minutes. Since then, Brighton have had a little bit of a push, but there's been no real trouble for Arsenal at the back yet. I think Arsenal can sort of look at this game and think, considering Mustafi's at the back as well, relatively untroubled. Saka's drifted out to his left-hand side. He's working with Aubameyang, who's in possession. It goes back to Kolasinac here. The ball's just being switched. Arsenal just need to move the ball a little bit quicker. It's taking far too long to go from left to right. Too many touches from players. Makes it easy for Brighton to set. Ball's played into Aubameyang here. Nice touch into Saka. Saka's got an open run here. Oh, he goes on the outside. He's tackled in the end. That wasn't great there from Saka. He's got to learn from that. He was in a brilliant position. He should have pushed it on the outside first of all, but he tried to go inside. By the time he moved out onto the outside, he had a covering defender in the space. But it was a nice bit of football again there by Arsenal, opening Brighton up. Brighton are certainly here for the taking. I think that game midweek has really helped the sharpness of Arsenal. Here goes Moy on the left-hand side. He is tackled. Pepe picks it up. Chance for Pepe to have a run and a dribble. He's past one. Is he going to get past the second? He keeps in possession, but he is trapped. He puts the ball out. It's going to be a goal kick. Not great there from Pepe in the end. He sort of ran himself into trouble. He had an opportunity to sprint at the fullback with a little bit of pace. He didn't really do it. Didn't really do it at all. But Gooners, how are you feeling about the start of this game? You confident? Are you happy? I mean, you're moving the ball well. You're creating openings and opportunities. That cannot be, nobody can deny that. Is that enough, though, in your opinion? Or do you want to see a little bit more? Is there a little bit more that you want to see? Guendouzi very strong there in the middle. Holds on to the ball very, very well indeed. Is Mr. Missing on the bench? Yeah, Tom. Ozil is on the bench. Which begs the question, why wasn't he the other day? Is it only because Xhaka's picked up the injury? It's mad. It's mad to think that, Ozil may only be on the bench because of the issues with other players. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Brighton here trying to move forward, passing it through the middle. Moyes in possession. He gets past Ceballos very, very easily there. That was actually not Ceballos, it was Bellerin. My apologies. Brighton have got an opportunity. It's a shot at Leno. Very, very well. Easily held onto there by Leno, it was. Very well worked there by Aubameyang on that left-hand side. Comment here says, nobody wants Ozil. He burnt all these German bridges. He's not good enough for the Premier League and fouled in Spain. I don't know if he fouled in Spain. There's a lot of people in Spain that rated what he did. He's just done now. The problem that Ozil has is he's not going to get 350 grand a week elsewhere. That's lovely there by Pepe. Pepe down the right-hand side. It looks like he's fouled there. Not been given by the referee. Pepe, get up, mate. Get yourself up. What are you sitting down for? See, that's nice there by Pepe. Beats a man there. But it's what you do after that. There's no point completing a dribble. There's no point taking somebody on and then not doing anything. He's staying down injured here, though, Pepe. Drinks break coming up now. I mean, what you making, Arsenal fans, of this opening exchange? I think, you're doing all right. And I mean that respectfully. You're doing okay out there. But you got to take these chances. Club will try and find a way to cut ties with him, but it will be difficult. Yeah, it will be difficult. That's from Kesh AFC. It'll be very, very difficult indeed to do that. There's no doubt about it, because if the player doesn't want to, no one's offering him. China could be an option. America could be an option. Those nations could probably pay the money. Maybe somewhere in the Middle East might offer him like a big amount of money to go and play there. But then that's Ozil almost accepting that he's done at the elite level. And, there's no one in Germany, no one in Spain, no one in Italy, no one in England that's going to pay him even 200 grand a week. So he may just end up sitting on that bench for the next year and claiming that money, which I think is a big shame, really. I think it's a big, big shame, because he's a lot better than that. He genuinely is a lot better than that as an individual. So, yeah, I'd feel a bit sorry for him. He's better than sitting on the bench, but he's not a £350,000 a week player. This 4-3-3 suits Arsenal. Yeah, so far it does. It does. Because what you're seeing with Saka playing on that left-hand side of that midfield, he's sometimes coming up in 10 positions, which is normal, but he's also able to go out into those wide positions as well. And I bet if we were to look here at the heat map of of Saka. That's where you're seeing a lot of the ball being touched. It's in those two different channels, and it's absolutely right. It looks like Pepe's out of this game, you know, which is going to be another blow to Arsenal. That's the third player lost to injury in his opening 2 games. Moy looked offside there, but it's not given. Moy's in possession here on the wide left, trying to create a little bit of space to get the cross. And he sat Ceballos down. He goes and gets a corner. It's very, very good play there by Moy. Moy's a talented boy, you know. But yeah, he looks like he's done, you know. He looks like he's absolutely done out here. Pepe, he's finished. That could be his season done as well, you know. I feel sorry for Arsenal. I feel truly sorry for Arsenal that this is happening to him. Ball's going to be crossed into the box here. Corner just after the drinks break. It's whipped in. That's going to be an easy clearance for Lacazette. But it's not a great clearance from Lacazette, although it was easy. So they've got an opportunity to get the ball into the box again here. Pepe is back on. Limping a little bit, but he is trying to carry on. Let's see how that ankle holds up. Brighton trying to find a bit of a half space. Oh, it's a lovely bit of football. A dink. Oh, my God. That was shocking. It's a good bit of football. A lovely dink pass over the top. And all it needed was a little bit of a subtle boot. A little bit of a subtle boot put through the ball there from Trossard. It's a lovely dink over to him. He's just got to square it. Oh, there was 2 men free in the middle. It was, for me, as a fan watching, that was a simple, you know, squared ball across the middle. And he absolutely laces it almost out of the stadium. That is going to land on Brighton Beach. It's going to kill a seagull. What's he doing? What's he doing? Man's out here killing seagulls, bruv. Aqua says Brighton all the way. Finished like Morata. Mate, that was just... I don't even know if that was a shot or a cross. It didn't even make sense what that was. I think he's got himself in 2 minds. He's got a little bit giddy, thinking, "Oh, if I have a good shot, it's going to be a great goal because of the pass, and my name's going to get... I'm going to trend." What he should have done is just a simple thing and squared it. Brighton have a tap in, and Arsenal in trouble. Ozil's warming up here. It could be for the injury to Pepe. Martinelli's also warming up as well. Let's see how Pepe's ankle holds up. He looks like he's running okay now. It doesn't look... He's not moving gingerly upon it at all. Brighton driving out from the back here. Arsenal trying to find their shape. Really poor pass. Good tackle there from Bellerin. Bellerin's still got that speed. I wouldn't say it's as quick as he used to be, but he's still certainly got some speed in those legs. Brighton back in possession here again. Brighton try a little bit of long ball. Doesn't quite come off. And guys, we're literally about 20 new subscribers away from hitting 134,000 subscribers here on the Football Terrace. We'd love you, absolutely love you, to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. What does it say here? Terry, what's the link to your audio mixer? What? I don't get what you mean. I don't get what you mean at all. I think Moy and Shelby are closer to each other. Well, because they're bald. Cool. Pepe doesn't have an end product. He's just like a Wobie. People just don't want to face facts. Brighton have a free kick here. They take it short. It's whipped in at an angle. Well over here. What's a waste of a free kick there from Brighton? Absolute waste. Absolute waste. Yes, Mohammed, you can have a shout out, my friend. Big shout out to you. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're doing well. Moy's got the ball here. He's played it. Oh, it's good defending in the end. Moy plays a nice ball through. Trossard's running onto it, but it's well defended there, I think, by Holden to stop it. But, you know, Arsenal they've not been beating Arsenal's door down, but Brighton are certainly coming more into this game. Their opening 10 minutes feels a long time ago now. Ball whipped out from Leno to Kolasinac. Goes out for a Brighton throw. Kolasinac looks overweight, you know. For a footballer, he looks overweight. Brighton, or foul given. I thought Brighton had turned the ball over, but a foul given there. I think is that Pepe is down again. Yellow card given here. Interesting, the possession stats in those opening 10 minutes were like 68% to Arsenal. It's now only 55% of the overall possession. Shows you Brighton are now coming more into this game. And this is where Arsenal have got to keep their heads. You know, Arsenal do have a tendency for their heads to drop when things go wrong. Ooh, so that is definitely a yellow card. But you know what? It's probably a good yellow card to pick up because, like from a footballing point of view, Pepe's already hurt his ankle once. You know, go through him a second time. See if you can. You know, that was by Dan Burn. You know, maybe got to look at it from the point of view of just try and put the frighteners on him a bit. Saka's picked the ball up on the left-hand side. He's got acres of room to run into here. It's a really good cross. Lacazette! Oh, it's a good save! Pepe went up for the follow-up, but it's cleared. Lacazette should have scored. It's a good save in the end. It's a good save by Ryan in the end. But Saka comes forward. I'd say he had acres of space. He crosses it. It's a decent cross. Oh, Lacazette, that's so poor. Lack of fret. Lack of fret. Lack of fret. It's a clear header. He's had 2 golden opportunities to score today, and he hasn't taken it. Arsenal fans, you cannot keep backing this guy. You cannot keep backing him. He is not good enough for your club. I thought he was going to be. I thought he was a world-class striker when you signed him. Maybe, just maybe, the confidence is gone. Whatever it is, confidence, lack of ability, it don't matter. It don't matter. Olivier Giroud is putting that away. You know? Absolute gilt-edged, clear-cut, big opportunity created there by Saka. And Lacazette is a lack of fret. Absolute poor. The French Francis Jeffers, mate. Brighton coming forward now. Overhit cross. Brighton managed to pick it up. But Arsenal got to step up here, you know. They keep missing these golden opportunities. Golden opportunities to score. They're not taking them. They're absolutely not taking them. I tell you who is looking good today is Saka, you know. Saka's a baller, bruv. Saka is genuinely a baller. Here goes Nicola Pepe. Just cuts inside. Doesn't fancy going on a dribble. See nothing from him at all today. Not one element of class. Not one element of class at all. Oh, Guendouzi's nutmegged and then foul. That's got to be a booking referee. Guendouzi needs to be booked for that. Basuma there, nutmegs Guendouzi, he's then foul, but nothing's given. See, that must be frustrating for these players sometimes, where like you're fouled like that and the player isn't booked. I get so frustrated by it. It's an absolute clear for me booking that should be addressed. That should be, you know, it should happen. You know, these players should be reprimanded for this type of thing, but it doesn't seem to happen. It doesn't seem to happen enough. And I think it's dead wrong. I really do. Ball whipped out here wide. It's well defended by Kolasinac. That's going to be a goal kick as we hit the 33rd minute of the game. Let's see what people are saying over here on Hot Mic. Brett says, so glad football is back. And I finally have Hot Mic sync correctly. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Arsenal are seriously boring to watch is what Nazir says. Rashford has so much potential. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of that from people in recent times. And I agree. He does. I tell you who else does today? Saka, you know. Saka looks a baller. Saka looks an absolute baller. And I worry about him, though, being at Arsenal. And if Arsenal don't sort themselves out, how much is that going to impact him? You know? He's fouled here in the middle. Ooh. VAR checking this for a possible red card. Not given, though. I didn't think it was. I mean, seeing the replay, it didn't look like a red card. He did put his arm out, but I don't think he meant to smash him in the face. Brighton here trying to counter-attack down the left-hand side. Danny Ceballos this time commits a foul. Brighton looking to play the ball quickly. Ceballos, who has rightfully got rid of that stupid top knot from the last game. By the way, white boys, top knots are a no-no. Oh, there's an injury here. Leno's down. He's holding his leg. This could be bad. Oh, Leno could be out here. Oh, this could be a knee ligament injury here. We want to wait till we see this replay. The way he's holding his leg, the way the players have surrounded him. Oh, no. I think he's broken his leg. Oh, no. Oh, no. I think he may. They're not showing the replays, which I think means the leg may have gone. The way he was holding himself. Oh, this is dreadful. This is dreadful. Poor lad. Poor lad. It's another injury for Arsenal, and that's Leno. That's going to be a big miss. Stretches straight on. Yeah, you saw the players all with their hands on their heads. When you see that, it's devastating. Oh no, I feel for him. Just going back here on my phone to watch what happened. So I'm just trying to check what happened here. He looks in a bad way though. Oh, he looks in a bad way. Oh. Oh, he looks bad. Have they said what it is yet? That look really, really bad. Oh, yeah, they're not showing it in its entirety. But yeah, that could be ligaments. It could be a break. Oh, yeah. Really not great. Really not great. Oh. Yeah, it's terrible. He's in a big brace here. He's done. His season's over. Oh. Cool guy said that's got to be Arsenal's season over. Yeah, unfortunately it could be. It could be with the players that now got out. I mean, he's been their saving grace. Oh, he's been their saving grace. Oh, I feel for him, man. Like I never wish bad on anybody in that regard, and I feel for him massively there because that's a horrendous injury. The fact, and this lets you know something. If it's knee ligament and a bad bend, like a bad twist, they show it on TV. The fact that TV haven't shown it tells you what you need to know. But it's horrific leg injury, and that's as we say, terrible terrible news for Arsenal, who have already lost so many players since football has returned. It's unbelievable, and they're gonna lose more now as well, which is just I just feel for him. Really do feel for him, but sent the shivers through me a little bit. Like genuinely sent the shivers through me. It always takes me back to when I had a really bad knee injury myself when I was younger. And whenever I see these things in these games, it brings psychologically it brings the pain back for me. Like I can feel it again, you know. Brighton coming forward here. Do you know what I say? Brighton have got to try and capitalise on this now, though. Brighton have, they can't allow. I know it's going to sound harsh, but Brighton need to push forward and try and do what they've got to do. Oh, as I say, it sent the shivers through me. That has corner here to Brighton towards the end of this. Was it going to be a horrible first half in the end now because of what's happened there to Leno. Ball's whipped in. Moy! Oh, what a save. Look at that save straight away from Martinez. It had to be a good save. Moy hit that wonderfully well. And when you just come into the game, you almost need that just to set yourself up to say, right, I'm ready for this. Because the goalie comes in cold. The goalie comes in cold. Excellent save. Really was an excellent save. Arsenal coming forward down the left-hand side here. The good thing for Arsenal is Pepe looks to be over his sort of knock that he had early on in the game, which is massively important for them. Arsenal now with Pepe on the right-hand side, looking to dribble forward here. He's had to come inside here. So he needs support now. You know, he's got two. What I would say about Pepe, and I don't want to be too disrespectful, he's always occupied by at least two men, and that tells you a lot of what you need to know here. They're just showing this replay again of Moyes' shot. I mean, it was quite close to the goalkeeper, but he had to be sharp here. Bang! It's well hit as well, going in. Very good save. That would have been a devastating time for Arsenal to concede. Of course, just having sort of lost their goalkeeper, but they keep themselves in the game. Ball knocked back here to Martinez. What's he going to do? It's a nice pass out there. Should be fine here. Oh, Arsenal in trouble. Just getting away with it. But here is Moy. They are overturned. Oh, poor play again. They just, they don't have the clinical edge there. They just don't have the clinical edge at all. Brighton to punish Arsenal enough. If they did, was another yellow card being given here. That's to Moy. Moy looks disappointed to have been given a yellow card there, though. He feels that's a little bit soft. Let's have a little look, though, and see. Do you know what? It's a definite yellow card. What's frustrating for me is as a Man United fan, and I am going to bring this up. Last night, the amount of time Spurs got away with those kind of fouls is unbelievable. But they're definite, absolute definite yellow card fouls. They're pernickety, clickety, horrible little fouls. They need to be punished. Brighton need to score soon. Stop wasting chances. Well, Brighton have had one chance. I mean, I wouldn't say Brighton are wasting chances. They haven't had chances. They just haven't had chances. Arsenal trying to attack here. But then Arsenal haven't done much in a while either, you know. I'd personally expect so much more from Arsenal than what we've seen. That opening 10 minutes, they were great. 5 minutes of time added on here. Here goes Aubameyang. He's on that left-hand side. He crosses it. It's really not a good cross. That's easily dealt with. Easily dealt with. Arsenal starting to push forward again here. Still 0-0 with a couple of minutes left of injury time. But the half is certainly marred by that injury. It says here, Arsenal need a good medical team. Our players have been picking up injuries left, right, and centre. Yeah, Samuel, I think the issue is like you can't help Leno's. You can't help. The only one you could look at is Mari's. The other two that have come up in these opening games have been twists and turns, and that just happens. And it's been unfortunate that you've had a few in like quick succession, really. Arsenal go back here to Martinez, who's out the edge of his box with the ball. Still 3 minutes or so to go in this first half. Guendouzi in possession. Can he find the right pass? Lacazette's a nice first touch from him. Can he find the right pass? He does. He plays it into Bellerin, who cuts on the inside. Back to Guendouzi that's pushing forward. It's a lovely pass here. Found Saka, who drifted out to the left. Saka can cross well. He does. Oh, Lacazette! Lacazette misses it again! Oh, my God. This time it's an easy tap-in for Lacazette. It's an easy tap-in, and he misses the ball. Half-time substitution needed. Get Lacazette off. Martinelli on. Move Aubameyang into that central role. He has missed 3 golden opportunities to score. Arsenal should be 3-0 up. It's still 0-0. It's still 0-0 here. And now Brighton have an opportunity to counter-attack. It's going to be devastating for Arsenal from this point. Guendouzi trying to recover. They don't win the ball back. They get the ball back in the end. Arsenal can come forward again here. It's well done there from Ceballos. Good positioning. But Lacazette is awful. The French Francis Jeffers strikes again. Here goes Aubameyang. It's his 3rd golden opportunity of the game. Here's Lacazette. He backhills it. It's lovely. Oh, but it's a great tackle there. A great tackle. It's a great backhill, I have to say. And then there he is, Webster, with a brilliant last-ditch tackle to stop Aubameyang from opening the scoring here. It's a lovely back heel. The defending is great. The positioning is great. The tackle is wonderful. But Arsenal are turning the screw just before half-time. Trying to get the opening goal of this game. Poor goalkeeping there from the corner, but Brighton are trying to play out. They're trying to counter, but the pass out's over here. Bellerin picks it up. Bellerin decides not to give the ball to Pepe. Got Saka in possession here. Puts the ball out wide. Ceballos is on this left-hand side. Lacazette has come. Aubameyang, has come short for the ball. He's looking to get a cross in. He does. He crosses well, but Ryan's too good for it. Catches the ball and moves on. 30 seconds to go here. This is a good opportunity here for Brighton. Whip this ball into the danger area. This will be the last action of the first half. It's whipped in. It's gone for a deep ball. Been knocked back across. Oh, no one gambled. No one in the Brighton team gambled. Yeah, and he's absolutely right to have a go at his teammates there. It's half-time now. The half-time whistle goes, but the ball was whipped in. It's a wonderful pass from the free kick, and it goes out wide. And then the right back, I think it's Charlotto. He squares the ball up, but nobody in the Brighton team gambled. Arsenal were caught flat-footed, but the first half ends 0-0. And I tell you what, the injury to Leno is disappointing. But Alex Lacazette, hashtag lack of fret, hashtag Francis Jeffers, he is costing Arsenal tonight. He is costing Arsenal. 3 golden opportunities to score. First one, dilly-dallies, gets blocked. The second one, the header is weak like gnat's pee. The third one, he can air shot. You know, so much air was created, he's going to give the goalkeeper a cold. Absolutely abysmal from him. Arsenal fans, you must be fuming with Lacazette after what you've seen in that. You can call us now at halftime on the Skype lines. They are open. We want to hear from you. Want to know what you're thinking, feeling, and saying. But that was poor. That was a poor first half. It really was. Of course, heartfelt messages go out to Leno, whose season looks over. You know, you could even, with the time of the year we're at, we could even be looking at the beginning of next season's over. If that's a cruciate ligament, if that's a break, that's a good 6 to 9 months out, and Arsenal have now got to think about what they do in that position, because Leno has been a saviour for him. You know, Leno has been an excellent goalkeeper in these times. But we want to hear from you right now. Call us up on Skype. All that information is down below. Also, check us out on Hot Mic as well. Get yourselves over there right now. We're live. We're kicking. We're happy. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do me a big favor, please, ladies and gentlemen. Please, if you're watching on Hot Mic, please make sure you're hitting that share button on Hot Mic as well and sharing the stream out there with your friends, family as well. Get everybody to download the app. It's free. You can watch the stream on there, and you can sync it with your television as well. And that's the most important bit, is syncing it with the television at the same time. It's massively important to do that and get that done. It really, really is. I'm just going to share it myself so you can all see what that looks like. Going to share it now. I'm going to share it out on Twitter. I just tweeted that out. There we go. So get that done. Oliver over there, how you doing? Terry, how did Arsenal get to the point where Guendouzi walks into their team? It's a really great question, and it's a painful question for Arsenal fans. It's a question that they don't really want to have to think about. And I get why you wouldn't want to think about it. It's an embarrassment. It's a true embarrassment. It really is. It really is. E-Boss here says, Laka and Aubameyang clearly does not work as a combination. Clearly does work. The combination play has been decent. Yeah, I don't think it's an element of them not being able to combine that's the problem. I think the issue those two players have together is the fact they're both central strikers. So I've said before, you either got to create a system with powerful midfielders, which enables you to play with 2 strikers, or you get rid of one of them. I think that's the real issue here, is that Arsenal, they don't have the strength, they don't have a system where they can get the best out of both of them. You take away from Aubameyang playing him on the wings, because he's that in his position. He likes to come in centrally quite a bit, which is great, and then Saka pushes out to that area. But against better teams, that would expose you, because you then have 2 strikers playing, and you'd have your midfielder out wide. Who's covering that position in mid? There's always going to be a hole. So I just feel that that's where the problems are, in my opinion. Why Skype instead of StreamYard? Because when we do these watch-alongs, we use a system called XSplit, and you can't do StreamYard through it. So it's a completely different situation. Bendy here says bald. Yes, I shaved my head off. Imagine thinking that bothers me, bro. Can you imagine thinking I'm that weak? My brother, you got to wake up a lot earlier than that to say something that's going to offend me. My guy. There we go. We got Max calling the show here. TD Shifts. Max, what you saying, bro?
Hey Terry, can you hear me?
Perfect. Yeah. What did you make of that first half display from your boys?
Mate, I don't know what to say. Just fucking, man.
Talk to me about Lacazette.
I mean, he's had 2 clear chances to have a shot at goal, and he's got one of them on target, and he scuffed the other. I just hope that Leno's okay. That was terrible and terrible injury that he might have potentially picked up, and looks like an ACL. And Mupai went into him full power, and he didn't need to. He could have pulled out, and then he just went into him.
Yeah, I get that anger of that. What I would say is goalkeepers have a much bigger track record of absolutely smashing through players to win balls. So, all's fair in love and war in that regard, but I get why you'd be angry. The Leno injury, of course, sours it. But from an Arsenal point of view, you've had the openings. I mean, Saka's shot hit the bar. You can't really blame him for that. It was almost perfect. Aubameyang has one chance, skied it. But Lacazette, 3 gilt-edged chances. One was blocked. One was a weak header that was saved, and then he completely misses the ball. You must be losing patience, or maybe you've already lost patience with him. You must be thinking his time's done.
I just feel that Lacazette needs to come off, and Martinelli needs to come on, or Saka needs to go there and maybe play Willock in the number 10 role. Something needs to change for me, because Lacazette's been pretty poor the first half. I mean, it can't continue. If we have any chance of trying to win this game, Lacazette needs to come off for me.
Yeah, Lacazette just looks done for me. Like, he actually looks done for me. In relation to how do I say this? I think his confidence is just gone. Like, I just think his confidence is gone. He's finished. There's actually footage here of Leno pointing at what was the guy that pushed him over? Mupai. They're looking at Mupai and having a go at him. And you know what? I get why he's angry at him, and I get why Arsenal fans are gonna.
If you actually read his lips, he's actually telling him to F off. Like, he knows he's like he's pointing at him and he's telling him to F off, and he's just like.
I get why Leno's angry, but my point still remains: the amount of times I see goalkeepers jump up for balls with their knees showing when there's zero need to do that, and they take out attackers. It's when I say I don't have sympathy. Oh yeah, I've just seen the way he landed. Yeah, I don't have sympathy for the goalkeepers. Do you get what and I know it sounds hot. I know people, I'm not. What I mean is, I've got sympathy that he's injured. Where I don't have sympathy is that goalkeepers smash into players all the time. And
but the thing, Terry. The thing is, Terry, where I have an issue with it, I completely agree with what you're saying. But the thing, where I see it is, Mupai was running towards Leno, and Leno came out of his box to come and collect the ball, and he didn't break up. He just continued running into him, and he could have braked. He could have gone to the left. He could have gone around him, and he just went head first into it.
I get that. I get that.
And the other thing too is that obviously Pepe on the right side was getting just absolutely taken out on the right hand side, and the referee was allowing it. And it's just. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Mate, I do get that, and for me, it's a foul from Mupai. I'm not even sure if he was booked. My point is just this. This is the thing with us. This is the thing with it was. Was he booked?
No, he wasn't booked.
Right,
as far as I can see.
My view is just this: when it comes to football, is as fans, when it's our players that get hurt or that goes against us, we get annoyed about it. But when it's the other way around or in the opposite direction, we don't mind. I remember Liverpool fans defending Mane for putting stitches on the face of Edison. It's like he didn't mean to. It's like, I know he didn't mean to. Like, the Brighton player here has not meant to damage the ligaments or break the leg or whatever it may be of Leno. What he's done, he's gone to rough him up a little bit. And we always talk about this as football fans. Oh, we want a bit of steel. We want someone to go in there and, play the man's game. And then someone goes in and plays the man's game, and then we moan that somebody's got hurt. You can't want there to be aggression and intimidation out there. And then, there was a foul that was committed on Pepe. And I think it was the fullback Burn got booked. Although it's wrong what he did and he got booked for it, I understand why Burn did it. Burns was going, okay, he's been limping on his ankle's sore. I'm just going to leave one on him to see whether I can end him as a player today, whether I can retire him from the game and make him not want to be involved. Now, you have to do that when you're playing superior teams. And we live in this world now where, we've got to stamp it out the game. Yeah, we do. But sometimes when Arsenal are playing against superior teams, it might not hurt you to be, a few of the dark arts. When Arsenal were at their best with Vieira and all these men, the amount of red cards you guys would get, the amount of times you'd smash a team up, the amount of times you'd do things wrong. Now, you may not always injure people, but you've got to do it. And I'm sad for Leno getting injured. I am. But for me, goalkeepers do that shit all the time, where there's no need to jump with your knees showing the way they do, or your elbows out, and they do it. And they do it because they can get away with it. So, do I have sympathy in terms of the action? No. Do I have sympathy with Leno's injury? Of course. I want to see nobody get injured. But, it's the way it is. And if it happens next week, if your goalkeeper comes out for a ball in a minute and his knee goes through the skull of a Brighton defender, no Arsenal fan is going to moan about it. No Arsenal fan is going to moan about it. Oh, you have to win the ball. Left one on him. It's football. That's what people will say. So I just don't have any sympathy for it until we start to self-police our own. I don't want to hear about it, if I'm being honest. If that makes sense.
Can I give you a counter argument, Terry? Obviously Garcia was the one that got injured the other day, right? If that had been an Arsenal player, I would have gone off at him. I wouldn't have been. That's not a fair tackle. That's my point. And whether Murray was right or wrong, whether he was right or wrong, I just think that was kind of a dirty sort of tackle. It was
the thing is, it was a little push. It was a little push, and Leno's landed awkwardly, and his knee ligament's gone. There's no intent.
If you watch his foot, he actually steps on the back of his Achilles. On the back of his Achilles as he goes down. Like once he gets back into the set position, the back of his boot actually goes into the back of his left leg in with his Achilles muscles.
So what are you suggesting?
I just think that we all too often. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, we sort of have really bad case of sort of self injuries and people getting injured. Obviously, you think about the sort of the Stoke game, and you think about Shawcross and going into Ramsey and everything else. And some people recover it, some people don't. That's my point, Terry.
That was 11 years ago, though.
Oh, I'm just using that as an example. I know it's 11 years. I'm just using that example, and I'm just a little bit concerned that, because obviously we've got Martinez and Go at the moment, and I just feel like Leno's. Listen, and I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about generalistically across Arsenal fans. Until I see Arsenal fans have a go at their own players for late tackles, bad tackles, pushes in the back. And the thing is, this is the thing about these cheeky little nudges. If you watch the second half closely, you'll see times when one of your players in the second half is going to push a Brighton player, whether they're in the air, on the floor, walking back. Who knows what happens? You might push him and he slips and he twists his ankle. Until I see Arsenal fans have a go at their players for bad tackles, pushes, any kind of insubordination, anything like that, I can't hear it back in the other way because it's hypocritical as a general rule. Terry, I'm not a hypocrite. I mean,
no, and I'm not talking. I didn't say you, TD. I'm not talking about you. I don't want to hear about that. What I'm saying is, I don't want to hear it from the masses when I don't. And I'm talking about people that I see on socials. If I don't see you moaning at Arsenal players when they make late tackles, I don't want to see you moaning at your opponents when they make late tackles on you. If you're not going to, I'm not saying when you don't condemn it and then you want to condemn others, it doesn't resonate with me. It becomes a non-point. It's like with diving. Don't cry when someone dives against you if you don't condemn your own team for diving. I've got no time for it. You can do it yourself in your own world. That's on you. But I ain't got no time for it. It just bothers me. It's like what he did was wrong. He pushes the goalkeeper. But you'll probably find those pushes happen 10 times a game in different areas and scenarios. And once in every 10,000 pushes, someone falls and twists something and hurts themselves. It's part and parcel. It just is how it is. You watch when a corner comes in. See if any Arsenal players push any players who are in the air or nudge them. And how many times do you see a striker going ahead of ball and a defender leans into the back of him to put him off? What if he leans into the back of him and he falls down and breaks his arm? Are we gonna condemn it? No, it's part of football. You know, these things happen, and I just think we've got to stop being so pernickety with this stuff. Your team does it, my team does it, we all do it. And because we all do it, I don't get why we're angry. But TD, I love the points. I love what you brought up, mate. Second half is beginning. Go enjoy the second half.
Thanks very much, Joe, for your point of view. I wasn't having a go at you.
I know you're not. And I'm not having a go at you. I'm expressing myself.
No, I was just trying to get my point across. I was just make sure you understand where I was coming
I
from.
know, I get where you're coming from, and you may not be, one of them hypocrites. But my point is, all of our teams will do those types of actions in every single game, but we never bemoan it. We only want to cry about it when the end result. Look, Liverpool, the prime example. Look what Mo Salah tried to rough up Sergio Ramos. So Sergio Ramos roughs him back up, but Mo Salah ends up being hurt. Liverpool fans are crying. Would they have cried if it was the other way around? Probably not. That's the point I'm making. It's like you can't if you're gonna play those big boy games, expect the big boy injuries. Listen, bro, take care of yourself, mate. Listen, I'll speak to you soon. We're gonna get back to this game. Thank you very much, my friend. I'm not even trying to have a go at anyone. I'm just not. Oh, conspiracy. He's banned. There'll be people calling for him to be banned. People want him banned. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Moy was taken off. March is coming on for this second half. It's gonna be an interesting one now. Arsenal got to find this breakthrough. Brighton coming forward here on the right hand side. Oh, that's a weak pass. Brighton here attacking down the right-hand side. It's well cut out. Aubameyang's back doing some good defending. Ooh, but there we go. Like I said, I've got sympathy for anyone who picks up an injury. I'm not saying that. I've got no time for the fans crying about it. Now, these are the same Arsenal fans, by the way, that I saw celebrating when Shawcross broke his leg at the beginning of the season. Hey, they were cheering about it. And yeah, Stoke fans did the same thing. You know, they always laugh at Aaron Ramsey, and that's wrong. So your counter to that is to laugh back in the other direction. You continue the perpetual cycle of ridiculousness instead of going, we are going to be bigger and better and not do that. Hush, man. You're even worse for copying it. Stooping to the level, bruv. Arsenal got a chance to counter here. Nicola Pepe. All right, finds it at the ball, finds the Lacazette. Nice back heel from him. Ceballos through to Aubameyang. Oh, lovely skill there from Aubameyang. Aubameyang is breathing down on goal. He's got options. He goes on his own foot on his left. Oh, it's spilled a little bit by Ryan, but he's there. Lacazette can't make it. Good opportunity early on here for Arsenal in the second half. Laying that glove on. It's a decent shot. Slightly fumbled by Ryan, but in fairness, Lacazette couldn't have got there. It was only a slight fumble there from Ryan. The ball didn't really spew out in front of him. Here we go. Oh, Arsenal win the ball back again. Guendouzi's pulled down. That looks like another yellow card foul to me. It's not given there, but it should be. Guendouzi's having a much better game today than he did against Man City. Maybe he has found his level. Maybe he's found his level. Mo Salah roughed up Leno. Go watch the clip again. It was Mo Salah that first started grappling with Ramos. It's a fact, bruv. And then Ramos just went, all right, son, bush, and threw him over. That's it. It happens. Do you know what? If I'm watching the Man United game, right? Oh, nice bit of skill there by Saka. If I'm watching the Man United game and Scott McTominay crunches someone in a tackle, and then 5 minutes later, that same guy crunches him back and Scott gets hurt, that's fair play. You know, you can't go into tackles. You can't start something and then be sad when the other guy finishes it. That's life, bruv. If you walk into a bar today, you walk up to a geezer, square up to him, give it the big one, and he sparks you out cold, don't be phoning the police. Take it on the chin. Literally. You asked for it. Playing dirty is part of football. I'm a defender. Of course, man. Defenders. from pinching thighs, standing on Achilles. All these players are doing these things. And trust me, watch Arsenal defend a corner in a minute. Watch them pushing and pulling. What if a Brighton player goes to jump and has his shirt pulled by an Arsenal player and then he lands awkward and twists his ankle? Are you all going to demand that Arsenal player is banned from your team because he pulled someone's shirt and he caused an injury? No, you're not. You're going to say it's part and parcel of football. So shut up moaning about it. Oh my God, that was awful there. Who was that fell over? It's Klasinac. My days. Brighton trying to play the ball out from the back here. Or run into a little bit of danger. Danger. And then they go long anyway. It's just stupidity. I know what they're trying to do. And I respect the fact that these teams are trying to do it. Like play football. But it just... I look at it and think you can just be a little more direct. You can be a little bit more direct than you are being. Surely. Surely you can. Lovely dummy there by Aubameyang. Saka's in. Saka shoots. Good save by Ryan. Corner to Arsenal. Lacazette's been fouled on the edge of the box. Do you know what's picking up there? The fouls on Arsenal are starting to really increase here. Or offside was given there against Saka, actually. So it's not even going to be a corner. Hindsight. I don't have effects. Yeah, he was offside, actually. He's clearly offside by about a yard. Good play that by Aubameyang, though. Really impressive dummy. 51 minutes on the clock. Second half, it is 0-0. Update from the Bundesliga. We're in the 83rd minute in that game, and it's still 1-0 to Dortmund versus Leipzig, courtesy of a goal from Haaland. Although it's a dead rubber. Well, Champions League football still to confirm, I suppose. It's a nice bit of play there. Brighton have opportunity here. Oh, it's good defending there. I think that was by Holding, sorry. I'm thinking of Amanda Holden. It's a good bit of play, good covering from him there. But the longer this game goes on, the more you can see Brighton sneaking it. You can see Brighton sneaking it. Ha, ha, ha. You can. It's why Arsenal got to get their goal. The longer it goes on at 0-0, there is just that. There's one brain fart is all it's going to take. But here comes Saka. He's on the break. He's probably been the best player for Arsenal today. He plays in Aubameyang. Aubameyang is through on goal. Aubameyang is going to finish it. Oh, he does. It's 1-0 to Arsenal. But I don't know if he's even celebrating as of yet. I think he knows that he's offside. They're going to go to VAR on this. The linesman has his flag up. But we will wait to see. We always wait to see. Oh, God, this is going to be close to VAR. They've got to check this properly. That is so close. I think the linesman has got it right. But I want to see the lines, bruv. I want to see the lines, bro. Get them white lines out. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's offside. It is offside. It is offside. But it's very close. Very, very close indeed. Arsenal nearly taking the lead. And look, who set that up? Saka, you know. Saka. Very good player. Been Arsenal's best guy. You know, he can play. Oh, look at that bad tackle by Lacazette on their goalkeeper. Arsenal fans, you must be demanding. Arsenal fans must be demanding for Lacazette to be sent off. Banned from football for life. Oh, look at the dirtiness. Where are the tweets? Where are the tweets, Gooners, condemning Lacazette for a late tackle on a goalkeeper that was needless? Where are they? Mugs. Absolute mugs. Come on, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. Look at that, see? It happens. All teams do it. You take your bookings, you wipe your mouths, and you move on. And it is only a yellow. It is only a yellow. But I want to see the tweets condemning it. It's dangerous. You might hurt him. It's dangerous. Oh, no. You can't do that in football. Got to protect the players. God, players injury. Oh, it's not fair. Oh, no. Mate. Oh, no. Idiots. Hypocrites. We see through you. Hypocrites. Love it. Oh, that was a bad tackle there as well. Brighton trying to counter-attack here. We've got the ball very wide on the right. Klashnat gets himself back. Ball inside. It's a nice bit of football. Oh, Holden makes the mistake. It's a corner here to Brighton. Holden makes a mistake there. Mark People thinks that Brighton are going to get a goal soon. I don't know about that, but let's just see. Let's just see what happens. Brighton going to whip this ball in. Let's see if any Arsenal players push anybody. I can see him holding. Ball's crossed in. Oh, it's well cleared by Arsenal. Brighton back in the possession, though, trying to set themselves to get it back in the box. They've got an opportunity here to cross. That's in nice and early. Oh, that's well defended there. I think that was Mustafi who got it away. Arsenal lose the ball again, though. Great tackle. Ceballos is down. It's crossed in again. Guendouzi misses it. They're in. Oh, good save, Martinez. Good save. Brighton nearly take the lead. Oh, and it would have been poetic. The man that injured Leno nearly gets the goal. Jeez. Guendouzi. What is Guendouzi doing there? I suppose it was a little too hard for him. Good shot in the end. Well saved. Well saved. And just put out for that corner. Brighton here are going to whip this in. What's going to happen? It's knocked in. It's headed back across. Half cleared. He misses. He misses. He gets it, wins it back though. It's a good tackle. Ball runs through to Martinez. There we go. Oh, the game's heating up. The game's heating up. You literally got, though, Arsenal pull this off with the French Francis Jeffers and the French Darren Gibson in the middle. I tell you, they're pulling something off, bro. Sideshow Gibson. Sideshow Gibson, bruv. I'm still sticking to my prediction, though. Arsenal are still going to win this game. In my very humble opinion, I think Arsenal are going to do it. I don't want them to do it as a rival, of course. That would be stupid. I think we've hit it. Have we done it? Look at that. We're past 134,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all so much for subscribing to the channel. It means genuinely humbling. Every new subscriber we get humbles me greatly. So thank you all. Arsenal coming forward here. Bellerin, there's an Arsenal player down on the floor. I don't know what he's moaning about. Arsenal, his teammates are carrying on. I think it was Lacazette that was down. Foul given here. Free kick in a dangerous area for Arsenal. They're going to take the lead soon, though. Arsenal will take the lead very, very soon indeed. Remember, we're live straight after the game. Fan cams, fan reaction to this performance. I'm sure it's going to be heated. Sure it's going to be heated. Arsenal here stepping over this free kick. Eyeing this free kick up. Aubameyang steps up. Looks like he's knocked sideways. Shot. Oh, straight into the wall. What a waste. What a waste. What a waste. Really is a waste. Brighton attacking down his left-hand side. Pepe. Of course. Oh, look at that poor defending from Arsenal. The fullback's free. Can they cross? They do. Oh, it's well blocked in the end. That was dreadful defending from Arsenal. Opened up on that left-hand side like you wouldn't believe. Look at the space again on the left-hand side. Crossed in again. Awful deep cross. Awful cross. That's going to go out. Wasted there by Brighton. Arsenal looking a little bit raggedy now. Looking a little bit raggedy indeed. Substitution here coming up for Brighton. Couple of Brighton substitutes coming up here. If I was an Arsenal fan, I'd only keep Leno, the youngsters, and Aubameyang. The rest should go. Yeah, I mean, I don't even overtly disagree. And even with the youngsters, I mean, how many of them are going to be good enough? The only real Arsenal two youngsters that really sort of I look at and think, oh, yeah, something about them is Martinelli. I think he looks talented, and Saka. I think Saka's brilliant. I really do. The rest of them, clowns, bruv. Clowns. Brighton in the second half have been much more dominant. Possession now in the overall game. I mean, it's mainly with Arsenal at 58%, but they're much more involved. Corner here to Arsenal. 2-0 to Dortmund. 2-0 to Dortmund. I was hoping I was going to see another Haaland goal, but no. He scores again, though, that boy. The boy is special. Corner here to Arsenal. Good opportunity for them to try and take this lead. Try and give themselves, get something out of this game. Push themselves forward. Jump up that league. It's going to be tough. Ball's whipped in here. It's well defended by Brighton. Such a tall team. Oh, it's poor there from Bellerin. He gets beaten to the punch, and Arsenal just about get away with it. And he dilly-dallies again. An awful pass back there to Ceballos, but Ceballos kind of takes care of it. Pass back to Martinez, who will look for Guendouzi down here. He does. Arsenal get themselves out of a little bit of trouble there. They look like they might get caught out. Tried to switch the play there. I forgot Pepe was even playing still. My God. An absolute anonymous game from him. You know, Arsenal have only had 7 shots in this whole game. It's crazy. 7 shots in the whole game. And 3 of them came in the opening 10 minutes. It really isn't great, is it? Think about that. 3 of their 7 shots came in the opening 10 minutes. 53 minutes since then, They must have just 4 over that whole time. And they're playing Brighton. I give Arsenal one thing. Their shape under Arteta in comparison to that of... Oh, it's a lovely bit of skill. It's a good shot, and that's blocked there by Bellerin. It's a lovely bit of skill there by Mapai. And it goes out for a Brighton corner. But you got to think, Arsenal are playing Brighton here. And it's just awful. It's genuinely awful. Do me a favor if you're tuning in, hit the like and share button with a Football Terrace. Please download Hot Mic as well. The description is below. Use my promo code TFT to get that done. It's the best way to watch watch-alongs on the planet. Sync it with your television. Get genuine live stadium sound effects, and you get multiple commentary options to watch the games with. Ball's crossed in here. Oh, Martinez picks it up. Easy for him. Arsenal going to counter quickly. Maybe that's their only opportunity is from these set pieces and corners to try and counter from them. Because they're really struggling to break Brighton down now in open play. Here is Aubameyang. Got quite a bit of room to run into. Lacazette moves in. Receives the ball. Plays it back. That's lovely. Here is Aubameyang. It's a good save by Ryan. That's where Lacazette was good there. And I always give credit where credit's due. The interplay he's had with Aubameyang's been fine. Nice 1-2s. He's finishing it lets him down. Aubameyang never a good chance, so can't finish it. They need to do more of that. But again, that stemmed from attacking off of a set piece or an attacking bit of play from Brighton. What Arsenal can't do is when Brighton have all their men behind the ball and they've got their solid banks of 4, they're struggling to break them down. But the ball's crossed in here by Arsenal. It's cleared by Brighton. Neither team have really been a threat at all from set pieces. No one's looked all at sea. Pepe here crosses in. It's an awful cross from Pepe. Fortunately, Arsenal get the ball back. But now it's lost again. It's back with Brighton. Ugh, awful clearance by Ryan in the Brighton goal. Gives the ball straight back to Arsenal. Oh, look at that. See where Guendouzi got bullied off the ball there? That's Guendouzi all over. Bullied off the ball in the middle. It happened time and time again against Arsenal, against Man City the other day. But Brighton are going to let this attack go because they just wasted it. They've wasted it here. All of this is stemmed from another Guendouzi mistake in the middle. Ball dinked into the back post. Oh, they're in. Oh, look at that. Open up the door. They opened up the door, but they just couldn't get the final ball. Isn't quite right from Brighton there. All of that stemmed from Guendouzi dilly-dallying on the ball in the central areas and getting Pepe apart. They need some magic. Here's Pepe. Puts it on his left. He shoots. Oh, it's a screamer from Pepe. He answers the critics. He silences the critics. What a goal. What a screamer. Arsenal take the lead. On the balance of play, it is probably deserved. He's had an absolute nothing game so far, but that's the sight of quality. That's the sight of a quality player when they turn up and when they deliver a goal like that on his left peg as well. Absolutely brilliant. It truly was a brilliant goal. Well taken there. Well taken. Absolute screamer of a goal. Well played, that man. Well played, that man. Ah, Ryan can't save that. Buried it. Absolutely buried it. Arsenal take that lead. And if you win a game with a goal of that quality, fair play. And do you know why it's even more amazing? It's even more amazing because it's come just as the drinks break was about to sort of come on. And I think that's important. That's so important at times to do that. You know, you get the drinks break in and you don't always want a drinks break as a player, I don't think. You often want to sort of, you just want to be able to play the game. You don't want to have that happen. But there we go. Massive next 20 minutes here for Arsenal. Can they hold on? They need to. They do need to hold on. But that was a screamer of a goal. Absolute screamer of a goal. 20 minutes to play in this game, of course, plus stoppage time. And there'll be quite a bit of stoppage time. Such a great goal. Just watching it back again here on my phone. Wow, what a goal. What a goal that was from Pepe. You know, we always do it here. We give credit where credit's due. He was having a bad game up until that point. Turning it around, though. And that's what it's all about. You know, you can, and this is why I always say to people, don't judge football based on, you know, how someone's been for 60, 70 minutes. If they turn it around, like if Lacazette goes on to end up scoring a couple more goals, then it's a good performance. The problem is if he doesn't, which he probably won't. But it'll all be, you know, be forgotten about in the grand scheme of things if they're going to win. But geez, that was some goal. Some goal. It's going to be tough now for Brighton. Tough now for Brighton to come back from this. They have to commit some more men forward soon. And that's where the openings will start, you see. That's when the openings will start. Here come Brighton. Pushing more men forward. Look at that. We've got 5 men in this attack. It's a great opportunity for Arsenal to turn this ball over, if they can, and then counter. It's lovely, though, for Brighton. Ball's in the box. Oh, they've got a chance here. Oh, well done there from Guendouzi. Just wins the ball back at the nick of time. Just don't foul Gwend. See, that's stupid from Brighton. Why foul him there? Why foul him there? So much football coming up in the Premier League. It's crazy. I almost can't keep up with it. Truly, I almost can't keep up with how many games that there are coming up. It's madness. So what do we have? We'll go to Monday, City play again. Tuesday, Leicester and Spurs play. Not each other. They both got games. Wednesday, Man United play. Everton play. Liverpool play. Thursday, Arsenal play again. Chelsea versus Man City on Thursday next week. Saturday's barely any games next Saturday, which is interesting, or Sunday. Just one game each day. And then you got a game Monday, game Tuesday. And then it's just so pretty much every day there's football. It's crazy. It's nice as well, though. Here come Brighton on the attack. Got to try and muster something out of this game. I think Arsenal are definitely deserving of their lead at this moment in time. There's no doubt about that. Brighton trying to work something here. Moving the ball nicely, but Arsenal got solid. The one thing you've got to say of Arsenal, they didn't manage it against City, but City is superior. They've got a decent and solid shape. Oh, good clearing again. It's going to be a corner here to Brighton. Corner here to Brighton with just over 15 minutes of normal time remaining. Brighton take a short corner. It's well worked. Oh, cleared off the line. Goal! It's a goal! It's a goal. Is a goal been given? Brighton equalised. Brighton look like they've equalised. It's a goal. Oh, VAR is of course going to check this. We're not going to celebrate too much until then. But have Arsenal thrown it away? It's a well taken short corner here. Sit in. Oh, that's a goal. I mean, the man tried to handball it off the line. Arsenal should probably have a player bloody sent off. So definitely a goal. Oh, they've conceded. They tried to handball it off the line. Watch Holden try and handball it off the line. He should be sent off for that. He should be sent off as well. I don't know. That's probably not within the rules. But there we go. It's 1-1. Let's get the scoreline updated. Arsenal have thrown their lead away. Arsenal Football Club throwing it away. Tackle in the middle here. Lacazette's rolling around, which means he's not really in pain. When someone rolls around like that, it means they're never in pain. Oh, that tackle from Lacazette is disgusting. Disgusting. Are the Arsenal fans up in arms? Arsenal fans, are you up in arms? VAR's got to look at that because I swear Lacazette's already booked. Lacazette is already booked. He should be off the pitch. Lacazette should be off the pitch. Lacazette knows. Look at Lacazette's face. That's why he pretended to be injured. To try and get away with it. Lacazette needs a red card here. Is the referee going to bottle it? Is the referee going to bottle it? What's happened? I don't really get it. How's he not been booked? That's a madness. It's another late tackle. Crazy. He's been subbed off. Oh, they've subbed him now. Wow. It doesn't matter if he's subbed already. He can still be sent off for the foul. That's a madness. I can't believe the referees. Arsenal have had a touch. Arsenal fans, the next time I hear a goon moan about the referee, right? You cannot. The tackle happened when he was in play. It's an absolute standard yellow card tackle. I'm surprised he didn't get booked for that. But there we go. But Arsenal fans, are they going to moan? Referee, send it on. Lacazette. No second yellow for that tackle. Madness. See, swings and roundabouts. No one's crying, though, from the Arsenal fan back. Oh, so dangerous and lucky, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. But Arsenal there, with their weak mentality, throw it away. Have they thrown it away? Still a long time to go in this game, though. That's what you got to say. Still a long time remaining in this match for Arsenal to turn this round. Such an interesting goal to concede, though. Just poor defending. Arsenal on the attack again here. And now need to look for that breakthrough again. And who I do feel sorry for is Pepe, you know. Could his brilliant goal just now become a nothing moment? Because if you don't get the win, these goals don't count. They count, but you don't remember them in the same way. Corner here to Arsenal. They're trying desperately to get themselves back in front because as it stands right now, more drop points. One in their opening 2 games. That's well cleared. Very well cleared there by Brighton. 10 minutes 11 minutes, sorry, of normal time remaining. And then we're going to be moving into the realms of injury time. Oh, it's a great shot. Goalie saves it well. Penalty. Not given. I thought that was a penalty to Arsenal there. Something's gone in the other direction. I'm not sure what it is because I don't have the commentary on, so I can't hear. And you know what they're like on these channels. They're not really showing me the angles. But why wasn't that given? So really good shot by Aubameyang. It's a good save in the end. Oh, I think a foul was given first. But I thought it was going to be a penalty. Brighton would have been kicking themselves if that happened. Throwing deep in the Arsenal half here. They've got to try and work themselves out of this situation a bit. Brighton are in possession again here. Brighton have been the better team since Arsenal scored, and that's got to be concerning. You know, even for the most passionate and dedicated Arsenal fan, it's got to be concerning that you've been the second best. You've been second best since you took the lead. Got to do better. Foul given here. Bellerin's having a bit of an argy-bargy with the ball. For the ball, not with the ball, sorry. Aubameyang's got a chance to win it. Deflects and goes out for a corner. Aubameyang, you know, he's had opportunities in this game. Just hasn't delivered. Corner here to Arsenal. Pepe is going to whip this in, and he does. Half cleared. Guendouzi with backward header. Goes to Ceballos, who delivers a decent cross. Klasniak's up, but it's well held there by Ryan. 3 minutes of normal time remaining here, ladies and gentlemen. The game's in the balance. Either team could win this. Oh, Arsenal there. Outmaneuvered. It's going to be a corner here to Brighton. Brighton have got a corner from nothing here. Corner out of nothing. Corner here to Brighton. It's whipped in. Oh, it's well defended by Arsenal. Oh, Brighton have worked the ball in lovely. Oh, Oh, the cross was overhit, but it nearly went in itself. Brighton opened up Arsenal there like an absolute tin of beans. Cut them to shreds, hot knife through butter, whatever descriptive you want to use, you can. But the football from Brighton has been very, very good since Arsenal took the lead. And that has to be the element that's focused. By the way, Arsenal fans won't focus on that. They'll focus on the referee and Mupai and it should be sent. Oh, lucky. Oh, no. Your team's been awful since you scored. You're the superior team. I think Pepe's worth more than the entire squad of Brighton put together, maybe. Maybe not. That's an exaggeration. But been very poor since then. Arsenal here with 5 minutes. I think 5 minutes to save their season. 5 minutes to save their season here, Arsenal. Otherwise, the league is done. Only got the FA Cup to play for. And most Arsenal fans tell me that the FA Cup don't mean anything. So, for Arsenal fans, could be it. It could be it. But one thing Arsenal have is quality. And the ball's played down here to Bellerin on the right-hand side. He'll get a first-time cross in. He does. It's not a bad cross, but good defensive positioning there from Brighton. The ball all half cleared, but they've let the ball bounce. Bellerin has the ball back, and now Ceballos takes it from him. Throw in here from the right-hand side for Arsenal. I'm having Arsenal fans kick off at me on social media because I've said, I've seen Arsenal fans on social celebrating Lacazette's tackle. We got one back, basically. I'm like, well, how can you celebrate that tackle but condemn what Mapai did? And we want the same punishment to be handed out. And I'm like, so your remedy, because you're not happy with the fact that Mapai wasn't booked or sent off, your remedy is to celebrate when Lacazette nearly hurts their goalkeeper. You see how that kind of weird, that's a social logic. That's a social logical deficiency that we have now in society across the globe. Where if you see the ill treatment of someone, some group, something, some business, some whatever that you like, rather than trying to create equality and fairness, is you just go, I'm going to do the petty thing and celebrate when something bad happens to what I consider to be an opposing group. It's honestly, it's an illness. I think it's an illness, and I would love to see clinical psychologists study this to their nth degree, and work out what makes people this narcissistic and stupid. I really mean that. If Man United suffer a bad tackle, I'm not then going to go and celebrate when we do a bad tackle in the other direction, because that makes me as bad as the people I'm bemoaning, and you never get out of the perpetual cycle, do you? Stupid. Brighton pushing forward here. A couple of minutes to go in the game. Oh, it's a lovely bit of skill. Well defended in the end there by Holding. I think Holding's had a decent game today himself as an individual. And by the way, I know that's all football fans. I'm not having to go at Arsenal fans specifically, but they are the ones that are celebrating Lacazette's bad tackle. Arsenal pushing forward here. A couple of minutes to go. Can they nick this win? Can they nick the victory? They spread the ball out here wide. Wide on the right-hand side. It's Bellerin. He's pushed real far forward. Oh, it's an awful cross from Bellerin. It's cleared. There's 2 minutes of game time to play here. Arsenal had the lead from a beautiful and majestic goal. Beautiful and majestic goal from Pepe. But it's that one moment of brilliance. There's been nothing, though, really, from this Arsenal team. The opening 10 minutes, they were strong. There's been some good individual play from Saka. But it's been another dreadful team performance. And remember, Arsenal have played 2 games now in this restart. Brighton have had nothing. But they do have a corner here. They do have a corner here. And an opportunity. An opportunity to get the ball into the box. An opportunity to take something from a game where they have been, I wouldn't even say the superior side, really. Whipped in. Cleared by Brighton. 1 minute and 10 seconds to go in this game. Remember, we're live straight after this. Live fan cams will be played. You better listen. You better tune in. Hear what's being said. Hear what's being done there. Ball's crossed in. Half cleared. Brighton boot it. I mean, they literally boot it away. Oh, they got half a chance here, Brighton. No, they can't. I thought they were gonna do a little madness. They didn't. But the game's pretty much over now. Pretty much it now. Good performance from Brighton, though, really. Brighton still pushing forward here, you know. Again, deep into time added on. Looking at this referee to just blow the whistle. Arsenal fans might feel a little nervous here. They're working the ball forward nicely. Oh, they've got another opportunity in! Oh! Oh! Oh my God! Oh my God! They win it! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Arsenal lose with the last kick of the game! And it's the man, the maligned, the Pepe who fouled Leno! We're going to watch to see, is it onside? Oh, it is! It's a goal! Arsenal lose! Arsenal lose! They're dead! Dead FC, Banner FC, Go Home FC, Nothing FC. Oh my God! In the last moment of the game, it's why we love the Premier League. It's why we love the Premier League. For these moments of beauty, of magic, euphoria, excitement and ecstasy. Arsenal Football Club lose again. Arsenal Football Club throw it away. I can't believe it. I can't breathe. Oh, I'm going into cardiac arrest. I can't believe it. Arsenal, you are finished. Arsenal, you are gone. Thierry Henry, Tony Adams, Sol Campbell, George Graham Wenger, your boys have taken one hell of a beating. Oh my word. And you took the lead, and since then you died. It's over. I can't believe it. Biggest L. Biggest L I have seen in a long time. Oh, Guendouzi grabs Mapai by the scruff of the neck. Look at him. You disgraceful Arsenal players. Lacazette tackled their goalkeeper in the same way. You disgraceful people. Disgraceful. He needs a red card for that. Arsenal need to have players sent off for that. Oh my word. Oh my word. Biggest L I have ever seen in my life. Biggest L I have ever seen in my life. In my life. In my life. There we go. Listen, we're going to be live with the reaction show for you very, very soon. Do me a big favor. Tune in again soon. Take care of yourselves. God bless.